All right, we are ready for some Farming Simulator 25 live stream action. Let's get into it. Get the volume turned up, get the camera turned on, and here we go. Welcome Smokeless Joe over on Twitch. Hey, how's it going, Tangy Monkey, Shiny Mootank, Josh Carver, anybody else I missed? Finally watched all through the FS22 content. Well, that's good. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Howdy, Shiny Mootank. Howdy, Josh Carver. I can't watch the stream, go to work, but I'll definitely plan to catch the next one. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Monkey. Have a good time at work, and obviously the VOD will be up right after the stream is done anyway, so you should be able to catch up with it that way. We are on a new day. I'll be honest, I think last week was my daughter's birthday, so as soon as I finished stream, I literally jumped up, did stuff with her, and then by the time I sat back down, I realized I hadn't actually exited the game. But nothing happened, right? We were going to fast forward anyway, so I just went ahead and just finish the fast forward so that we're in daytime instead of in the middle of the night, and everything else is done. All the contracts got turned in. I don't think you guys missed anything other than that. We do need to... I mean, I was trying to debate whether or not I want to fertilize or not. We still get yield even if we don't fertilize, right? I mean, not fertilizing does not mean no yield. That's not how that works. Which means we still get money whether we fertilize or not. And so, trying to debate... wings. Yeah, I did have wings for her birthday. Yeah, they were good wings. Thank you. They were tasty. And so really, I mean, the big thing right now is that we're trying to be mindful of our money. And so the money that, like the equipment that we need to buy by doing stuff in the game, right? And so one of the things we're going to do in the game is obviously try to grow some, or kind of get some silage going. And the silage is what's going to help pay for other things, right? So, I'm just not sure. Fertilizing obviously increases your yield significantly, but at the same time, and it's definitely worth it. Do not misunderstand me when I say I'm trying to decide if I want to do fertilizer or not. 100% we're doing fertilizer at some point. Question is, do we do fertilizer now, or do we just get us a first yield out so that we can pay for the fertilizer for the next one without having to go into any sort of debt? That's the question. It's kind of the same argument as buying a second field. If you think about it that way, right? I could spend X amount of money buying the fertilizer spreader and the fertilizer to double the yield on this field, but that's the exact same argument as if I had another field identical to size of this that I wanted to buy next to it. So it may sound like a crazy argument to decide whether or not you want to do fertilizer or not right now, because everybody's like, obviously you do fertilizer. But again, it's identical to saying, do I buy second field? Some people might say, okay, no, you wait until you can save enough money for that. It's the identical thing, though. They're 100% identical in that regard. Because if I buy a second field, that's 100% increased yield, just like the fertilizer. So that's where my thinking is, just in case you're curious. We are going to do fertilizer at some point. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do it right away. And kind of go from there. Why do I have a package today? I'm not expecting a delivery today. I'm curious why I'm getting packages dropped off. What did I order? What day is today? Today's the 26th. Can't be anybody's birthday. That's not happening anytime soon. It's not Christmas. That's too early for that. I have no idea. It's not Amazon. Oh well. I'll figure it out later. All right. So, we could do some more contracts, obviously, to make a little bit more money. We do have 189,000 bucks. Now I need to go through and make sure I remind myself. We have to have a baler. We have to have a silage wrapper. So, and we can combine the two if we really wanted to. For example, I think this one, is this the one that can get a baler attached to it, or is this one? Because there is a Gavel, silage wrapper that you can attach. It just doesn't tell me what it's, oh, it's on the front. Never mind. I thought this was attached to the side of, or to the back of a baler, but it actually attaches as a front loader attachment. Interesting. Or a telehandler. I did not know that was a thing. That's kind of interesting. More than likely, we're going to be buying this particular wrapper at some point. It's just cheap and easy and ready to roll. I mean, there's that one too, but that one does do square bales, which is cool, but we're not going to be doing square bales right now. So more than likely, we'll grab this one. That's 27, we'll call it 28,000 bucks. And then you add in the baler. I mean, any of these, they're all essentially identical. Talking about another, let's say the lowest one, 60,500. If we wanted to go that route, probably what I would do is I'd probably go for one of the ones that can get different size bales, just for flexibility. It's not that much more. So 65,000 bucks maybe, 60, 70, 80, $93,000 right there. That still leaves us almost 100 grand. We would want a trailer, which is 50 grand right there. So that leaves us 50 grand. And then if we wanted a windrower to make things easier, we don't have to use a windrower. We can definitely use the mowers. Oh, we haven't even bought the mower yet. Never mind. Yeah, we're definitely going to be short on money. What did my wife ordered wings as well. I think she got lemon pepper and I got barbecue. What do you like more, square or round? I mean, I really like the fact that square balers, just, you never have to stop moving, right? It's really, really convenient. But they're obviously way more expensive than round balers. Round balers are just cheaper. They're easier to get into. Not to mention, not only is the baler cheaper for round balers, but the trailer is cheaper for round balers. It's like half the cost. So round balers are just cheaper. That's just what it comes down to. And so more often than not, I'll use round balers most of the time. All right, so since I have to throw in the mower as well, and we can get by with just a front mower attachment for right now, we are still low on money. So I actually don't think we can afford fertilizer right this second, which is crazy. It's a crazy thought process. But if I'm determined to try to avoid debt, then it kind of is what it is. And now it does probably still mean we want to do some more contracts if they're valuable contracts. I don't want to go just do crazy contracts all over the place because some contracts are less valuable than others based on how long it takes you to do them. Like this one right here can be pretty valuable because fertilizer does not take that long to do and it's worth 4,300 bucks. Now we do have to buy the fertilizer itself, but if we were to borrow the equipment for that one, I mean, it's a little bit cheaper to buy those, but I think we'd borrow the equipment for that one, just do all three of these contracts. That's an option. Harvesting contracts can sometimes be good, although not a, it's a little bit of a weird behavior for the little scrolling down there. Not for parsnips, I would say. That's not a very great contract. Red beets, I mean, really not. I mean, most of these other ones are not that great. Sorghum's not too bad if we want to roll through that. Here are some green beans if we want to get some green beans done. It'd be kind of cool to see the green beans. I might do one of these contracts just for the purposes of seeing green beans because it's kind of cool. And there's some mowing contracts, which obviously the mowing contracts, now that we don't have to do the baling as well, are also very easy to do. And spraying. Spraying's pretty quick. There's a lot of good contracts. I actually might try the green bean one just because I want to see it. And we're not going to be doing green beans anytime soon. So let's borrow from this one. And I guess it didn't really matter which one I borrowed from. And let's go ahead and accept this one as well. And we'll just do both green bean contracts. Where does this other one go? This one goes to the canning factory. I'm assuming they're both going to the canning factory. That would make the most sense. Oh, actually, that one goes to the Grain River silo. All right, good to know. Well, then we'll accept this other contract. We'll knock it out first to the canning factory. And we will, I don't know, do green beans because we haven't done this before. Do not buy the bale storage building. It is broken. What about the hayloft? I downloaded a mod for bale storage, just for the record. If you come in here to silos, you'll see down here, I have some of these right here. And these are just little outdoor placeables that it's a good, quick and easy way to store some bales out in the world without having to actually have a building. So, and I've definitely tried these out. These work definitely just fine. So I'll probably be using one of those at some point. The shed won't let you get the bales back out. Well, that's interesting. How do you like this new game? I mean, so far I'm liking it. No complaints so far. I mean, there's a few bugs in here, stuff here and there, as you would expect with a brand new game. But I'm sure those will get fixed out eventually. Let me get you headed over to the field we're going to. Which field are we going to first? We're going to field 90 first, which is 87's down south middle. Okay, 90's down there as well. Okay. I mean, the quickest way to get there is just to go past the animal dealer. But I actually don't know which way you're going to actually go. We'll just tell you to go that direction and we'll let you make up your own mind. Just, I don't know, head over here somewhere. And then, you going? You're going, okay. And then we'll drive you over there ourselves. I'm going to take a shortcut, because why not? You think it's worth it, or should we just wait for new updates? That's a really tough question for me to answer. I like Farming Simulator, and I personally am not bothered by bugs as long as the game's playable, and the game is definitely playable. As long as the game's playable, I'm not bothered by bugs too often, because those usually get fixed pretty quickly. I don't know, it's a tough call. I mean, there's still nothing wrong with FS22, honestly. If you still like FS22, FS22 is still a great game. And obviously quite a bit cheaper right now, I would imagine. What is in FS25 that I would say is worth it over FS22? Well, the AI behavior is pretty awesome. I've talked about that a few times. If you don't use AI though, ever, like if you're one of those people that does everything yourself, well then maybe obviously the benefits of the AI is useless to you. Production facilities, there's not really any new crazy production facilities other than ones that support the new crops. So if you don't care about the new crops like green beans or spinach or rice, FS22 is still fine for that. I mean, like I said, so it really depends on what you're getting it for. On whether or not it's worth it or not. I'm surprised how long Giants is taking to do the first bug patch. Yeah, that's interesting. We haven't seen one yet. Hopefully that just means that there's going to be a lot of good fixes and things added to it. We'll see. Definitely an interesting question of why we haven't seen one yet. Playground, it is. Oh, you're talking about AC. Yeah. It's definitely worth it. Some bugs, nothing game breaking. Yeah, I would agree. Nothing game breaking so far. I don't think there's anything game breaking. Graphics, I think, look better. I'm having fun so far, but also, you could argue that I get paid to do this. Not that much money, to be fair. This is still hobby, so I still have to pay, I still pay more than I make off of buying the game. But I would imagine doing videos and stuff like that does offset the cost for me, so that's why it's hard for me to recommend or not recommend a game if I'm technically making even a small amount of money off of it. Wow, you got lots of weeds over here, buddy. That is a very weedy green bean field. You're gonna do 5 headlands? Wow, I guess that's based on the length of this vehicle. Alright, we'll get you rolling on that. Where's our tractor at? It's coming. Oh yeah, GPS steering. I would agree. The GPS steering is huge. So even if you don't like AI, the GPS steering is a massive add base game. Now granted, you can get a GPS mod for FS22 to do the same thing. So arguably, you can still have GPS in the other game anyway. But I really do like the fact that they added it to the base game. It's really cool. Oh, you went that direction first. Interesting. Production facilities are easier to get into starting. Yes, I do like the small production facilities. Some people don't like these. I saw a couple videos on YouTube that were arguing that these are not worth it. I would disagree wholeheartedly. I think spending 30,000 bucks to make a few $1,000 early on, especially when your yields aren't very high to begin with anyway. You don't have that much yield when you're starting out with a brand new farm. So you're not going to be able to fill up one of the big ones anyway. Grab one of these little tiny ones, make a little bit of money early on, and that's going to help you buy the big one later on once you've been able to grow your fields, grow your production, stuff like that. I think these small ones are really cool. I like that they added them in. Thanks, but I just feel if we keep buying the game with nothing, we won't help them innovate and come up with new things. I mean, I definitely think there's definitely new things added to the game, so I'm not sure. And again, just for comparison's sake, this is vanilla FS25, and you might compare it to FS22 with what? 2 yearly packs, which each had a couple DLC and an expansion on top of it. So 2 expansions and probably what 6 to 8 DLCs. So comparing FS22 with a bunch of DLCs, a couple expansions, and a bunch of mods that people have already had time to put out there versus vanilla FS25 with very few mods and no DLC. Well, I mean, I guess there's 1 DLC, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's a tough comparison to make, but, FS22 is better. If you want to look at those two specifically, yeah, FS22 is totally better because it's got more stuff for it right now. But as time goes on, FS25 is going to be significantly better than FS22, I think. So, and that's just it's just one of those. That's the truth about any game, though. Any game that has any sort of kind of regular release and then DLCs and stuff like that on top of it. I mean, I would imagine Civilization 7 is not going to feel as good as Civilization 6 does right now because it's only going to have, you know, a portion of what Civ 6 has today. But as Civ 7 continues, you know, that'll get more and more and more. Same thing with any Paradox game. If they came out with EU5 right now, is it going to be as good as EU4? Well, no, it's no way, because EU4's got 50,000 DLCs added on top of it. So, only a slight exaggeration on that, by the way, because there's a lot of DLC for EU4. So yeah, it's hard to compare a brand new game versus a game that's been out for a while that has a bunch of added content on top of it. I personally think FS25 is worth it. That's my personal opinion. Oh, thanks, Josh, there. I really appreciate it. That's really kind of you to say. What else do I want to do right this second while we're doing that? I mean, I guess we could take another contract that we can just knock out ourselves. Like any of the spraying contracts, those are usually pretty easy to knock out. Get a little extra side money. Or like I said, those fertilizing contracts were good too. But the problem with those is I would actually kind of want to grab more than one of these. I mean, arguably, I could just grab a fertilizer to do these fertilizing contracts. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, about 6,000, 7,000 bucks. How much is just a basic fertilizer? I was talking about not fertilizing my own field right now, just from a cost standpoint. But if I can pay off some of the fertilizer by doing other people's fields as well, there's an argument there. I'm still not used to this menu. Where yield improvements, there we go. I mean, this one's very basic. Very, very basic. It's actually 14 meters isn't bad. Compared to 42 meters, yeah, okay, that's a massive difference. But 14 meters is not like 4 meters, right? Like, you're going to get stuff done in a 4 meter thing. Now, the problem with this one is it's only got 300 liters of fertilizer. Now, okay, that's where you're actually going to run into trouble. Not the width, it's the capacity. I don't know if 300 liters can do an entire field. I actually don't know. I'd have to look at the ratios or the rates, whatever. I could pay for a third of this right now, though, with one of those contracts. Or I could just buy this thing outright with one of those contracts. I just don't know. 300 liters is... Like, how far could you get with 300 liters? I feel like not very far. FS does have competition with other farm games for farm simulators to us to innovate and add new features. I mean, there's not... I get your point. Is there really another farming game out there that's even close to being worth playing right now? I know I saw one that, I forget the name of it, but I know there's one that you can play on a real world map of the globe. I can't imagine it's even going to touch Farming Simulator, though. I could be wrong, but right now I just don't think it is. What do the green beans look like? Just a big pile of peas, basically. Hey, Josh Carver, thanks for the membership, silver level membership. I appreciate that. Hi, my name is Jeremiah. I've watched a lot of your FS22 content and looking forward to watching your content in FS25. I've learned a lot from you about the game. Just balance a fertilizer bag on top of the cone-shaped fertilizer machine. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That would be funny. Then you don't have to worry about storage. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, what kind of connections does this thing have? I guess you couldn't really put this on the front. It'd have to be on the back. I mean, it has to exist for a reason, right? So it has to be able to be usable. I guess we won't know until we try it. One thing I could do is I could try it based off one of these contracts. If I want to just try it before I buy it. That's one good thing about contracts. If you go and do a contract, you can try some equipment before you pay for it, which, you know, can be a good way to offset that experimentation phase. I mean, we're paying 640 bucks for this, though. I might as well just buy the thing at that point. All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna buy it. It's probably a big mistake, but we're gonna try it out. At least if I buy it and I don't like it, we're not out that much money. So it's not really going to make that much difference. Where's the store? It's up this way, isn't it? How much does it cost to rent it? It probably isn't that much. Probably only a couple $100 to lease it. But I mean, we are going to use fertilizer relatively regularly at some point in the game. So if we can get through a single field with 300 liters, which I just don't remember if you can. I think it depends on the crop. And part of my problem of why I can't remember is also because I'm used to precision farming, and without precision farming, oh, sorry, sign. I don't remember how much you need to get through stuff without precision farming, so we'll just test it. I guess I need to grab the contract here in a second. If we don't like it, we'll get rid of it. No harm, no foul. Wow, that small contract for the green beans is only 8% done right now. Those contracts are actually going to take a while to do. Alright, we need to get some fertilizer. I guess we'll just grab one bag because this thing's not going to hold that much anyway. Alright, let's grab us a contract. We'll grab the one, I guess, right here because it's very, very close by. Don't look at your phone and drive at the same time. How do we get to this field? It's kind of hidden back here. Look how small 14 meters is. I like there's these little sheds and little buildings kind of scattered around some of the different fields and stuff. It's kind of cool that it just gives more life. I don't know, more character, I guess, to the map. We'll definitely have enough fertilizer, it looks like, for this field. If we're already 40% done and we were only 25% through the fertilizer. But I can't imagine we'd have enough fertilizer for the bigger field with this tiny thing. Alright, since I'm not going to be able to see where to go now, we will let our little worker tell it not to do the headlands. And go. Be gone with you. Figure it out. It's interesting how much it has to dig in here to be able to make the turn. I mean, it's not really doing probably what I would expect it to do. Not the most efficient route, I suppose. But I guess it's got to be able to turn around and stuff. Okay. It's definitely going slower because it's making these corners. That's for sure. So the workers aren't perfect. We've talked about that before. They're still not the smartest in the world. I mean, I get that it has to do a little bit of a cutout here in order to be able to stay on the field, but I feel like that might be a little excessive. For distance, it looked like it was just spitting out the pea, like the inside peas, basically, of the green bean. I'm like, why would it do that? It should be spitting out the full green bean. But then I zoomed in and I could see that it's like longer pieces. You doing it, buddy? You doing it? I can't, how far along have you come? I can't even see it. Turn off the weeds. Oh, you're almost there. Getting it. Sorry, I missed a couple. Sorry, I found you a few days ago before I started SP World on Farm Sim 25. Went the same start as you did on the series. Been enjoying your Hutan series too. Oh, well, thank you, Ultimate Bardic. Appreciate it. $600 as well. Yep, I already sold that one. Have you ever heard of Blue Hill Farm in New York? Are you talking about like a real life farm, or is this a game in-game farm? I have not heard of Blue Hill Farm. Either way, I guess. Watch renting it be cheaper than leasing it. Probably is. I just want the game to feel alive. Always feels so empty, but I don't know. I guess it's easy to have the best machines in farming while also having a real life sim. And 25 looks amazing, looks fun to do. I think the AI will be too slow to be wasteful with the 300 capacity. You might be right. Although it did finish this field, so we're good there. Have you come up with a story yet? I have not come up with a story yet. Usually my first run through is just try different things. Kind of experiment with different things and stuff like that. That's kind of a little bit where we're at right now. He's going to be in that corner of the whole stream. You're probably right. We're probably going to be back here in at the end of the stream, and that guy will still be working on that corner over there. All right, so we do need to go top off, and we can go do another field with this guy. Essentially, if we do these 3 fertilizer contracts, we'll get this little fertilizer for free. Because I think once you've paid off the fertilizer itself, and then fertilizer, that's what, $4,000? Right about $4,000, and we're gonna get about $40,000 from the 3 contracts. So, in a way, we're basically doing 3 contracts to get a free fertilizer spreader. Why not? By the way, I have not found an auto load mod yet. One of these days, hopefully I will find one, or somebody will make one. There's supposed to be one out there, but I went to the website that I saw someone talking about it for, and there was just nowhere to download it. So I guess it just does not exist yet. What is the next contract? We actually need to go turn that one in. Completed. And we'll grab the next one. And this one is a little further away. Oh, it's over by the mace. We could take the little ferry, but honestly, by the time we got the ferry, I think we could just drive around. It's a good thing you bought the fertilizer. Yeah, I mean, we got the fertilizer for this, so we'll be fine. There are, like, no mods for concentrate, only giant stuff. That doesn't surprise me. They seem to be taking a little bit of time trying to work through all the mods to determine which ones are being approved for being on the store. Give it a few more weeks, and there'll be a bunch for sure. There definitely are more added every day. I've noticed that. Every day I check, there's at least another couple mods going onto the list. It's a rural farm in New York that a chef inherited, and he returned the farm from a dairy farm to a full farm where he grows all the food for his Michelin star restaurant on the property. That's pretty cool. Goats, that's to go. Have fun. Thanks for the... Oh yeah, thanks RC Playground. Have a good evening. Or morning, whichever. There's a 1-hour documentary on it on Netflix. Chef Dan Barber. Well, I will have to check that out sometime. That sounds pretty cool. Man, that contract is taking a long time. I was not expecting the green bean contract to take that long. Maybe mistakes have been made. I don't know. Seems strange that they're fertilizing sunflowers that are already basically grown up. I mean, I guess as long as you fertilize them before they reach the harvest stage, I think it still counts, but it's, I don't know, seems a little strange. There's a really nice field in front of us. It's very flat, nice size. That's a good field. I like that field. Don't work the headlands, start with the up downs. Yep, sounds good. We'll go. Are you really just backing up the entire length of this field? Okay. I mean, why? I mean, he's eventually gonna get the field done. I'm not saying, like, it will work, which is cool. It's just still a little bit of a goofy behavior sometimes. Anyway. Autoload should be basically by now, maybe make it up. I'd agree. I 100% agree. What are the best contracts to do? Well, I thought green beans would be good. I'm starting to have doubts. I guess unless you do it yourself. Fertilizing is almost always just easy to do. It's just a quick, I mean, yeah, you have to spend money on the actual fertilizer. So whatever number you see here, you have to take that into context. That's a little bit less than that. But they go real quick. They're not very, very hard jobs in the long run. Cultivating can be good if you get a good sized cultivator. It's usually a pretty straightforward job to do. But by my math, at least from FS22, you could never really get a good enough cultivator to make it worth as much as some of the other contracts. Harvesting contracts can be really good if you get to sell the leftover crop, which you still can, but not as much as you could in FS22. So maybe less valuable there. But if you already get the equipment, it can be useful. This hoeing contract's probably pretty good. Especially if you have a weeding contract you could use with the hoer that you got there. Mowing. Now that mowing doesn't take baling, it's actually going to be really easy to do the mowing contracts. So I would say those would be really quick to knock out. Plowing, not so much. Plowing is actually not a good contract. It really isn't. The width of the plow is just not very good. And it usually takes you so much longer to do than whatever money you could possibly get from it. If you have a trailer that you can get this thing transported over to the rock quickest, then this rock removal actually is pretty good because it takes like 5 minutes to get, to knock out the 4 or 5 rocks that are over there. The hard part, I guess in this case, 4 rocks. The hard part is that this thing doesn't drive very fast. And so if you don't have a flatbed to transport it quickly, then it's not a good contract for you. And then spraying contracts are always just very quick to do as well. Baling contracts are fun. Yeah, those can be fun for sure. Yeah. If you don't mind doing your own work, which I don't mind for baling contracts, then yeah, baling contracts are actually really good to do. Which fields are more expensive, this map or the other map you're doing your Let's Play on? Actually, I think they're pretty similar. I was just looking at the cost of some fields on that other map today. So I was looking at a field I think it was about 5.5 acres. So if I could find a 5.5 acre map field here, let's see. That was 5. That was really big. That was 5.97. There's actually some decent size. I think the other map has smaller fields close by me. There's a 5.5, about 5.5 acres right there. On the other map, it was 130,000 bucks. This is 130,000 bucks. So it's about the same price. Zelonka, unless they've changed it, I haven't checked Zelonka on FS25. On FS22, Zelonka fields were like a fifth of the price. They were so cheap. So you could get a really good sized field for like 20,000 bucks on Zelonka. But again, they might have changed that for FS25. I have not tried FS25 Zelonka yet. With the GPS, I've been doing a lot more cultivation contracts than I used to. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, cultivating contracts with GPS mod are actually better to do now. I think I missed one. Yeah, sadly there's like only one bale loader for each bale type. I don't really think the third one for the tiny 120 bales is worth it whatsoever. Yeah, I was actually playing around with it today. The 120, the little square baler. And it's actually not that bad. I was able to bale a bunch of my field. And then I just backed up my pickup truck that has, the container in the back and just was able to toss them in myself by hand. It worked really well, honestly. But I think I'm going to switch up to a different baler at some point, but it's not terrible. And the fact that you can just move around by hand is actually a pretty good bonus, I guess. Baling contracts are pretty, yeah, I definitely think. So far, I would say the spinach is the best I've seen pop up. I had 3 or 4 worth 11,000. If you do the delivery right, you can harvest the whole fields and get an extra 10K from extra 10,000 bucks from the excess crop. I have not had any harvesting contracts that allow you to sell that much crop to get that much value. But again, I have not done spinach yet, so it'll be interesting to see how much we get from the green beans here. And once this guy gets done doing the outside perimeter, the middle part should be way faster. It's just doing the outside perimeter right now is a little slow. I mean, I could do the outside perimeter for him, I suppose, if I really wanted to speed this up. And I'm fine. Honestly, I might as well. What was he going to do? 5? 5, okay. Actually, what I might do is I might actually tell you to start on the middle bit, and I'll just clean up the outside once you're done. That way I know exactly how much to get done. I like starting with the headlands usually, but sometimes the headlands are just slower. So let's say turn off the headlands, start with the up downs, and let's just see if you can get that done faster. And I will do the middle bits myself later, or the outside bits with myself later. Maybe they'll speed up a little bit. All right, you are done fertilizing. We actually got that contract done. Not worth a lot of money, but every little bit helps. And then we'll go grab that last fertilizing contract, although we'll have to go top off again. Oh, there's actually 2 more now. I mean, we're going to have to refill partway through either of these, I would imagine. But, I mean, yeah, these are just not very long. These don't take very long to do. I could turn on worker buys fertilizer. As an experiment, yeah, I think as an experiment, I'm going to do that. I don't usually do that, but as an experiment in this particular case with a smaller fertilizer thingy, I might try it to see how much we lose versus how much we get from the contract itself. So let's say worker can buy fertilizer. Usually they pay more for it than what I would pay for it, but if I still make, you know, a couple $1,000 off the contract, well then it might still be just be worth doing and not having to run back and forth to the store. So we're doing which field? I forget which field it was. 19, okay. Far top left, I'm assuming. Yeah, way up there. Okay, so we go up, take a left, and then keep going from there. All right. Let's see how much this thing costs us. It might be so much that it's not worth doing this. In which case, okay, well no. But, worth an experiment here. That is a very, very tight corner, my friend. I'm impressed you were able to make that. I'm honestly glad Giants broke up the mowing contracts eventually. Add up some more profit. Oh, sorry. I just read 2 different lines at the same time. I'm honestly glad Giants broke up the mowing contracts. It was rough to mow all the machinery to someone else's field. 2 mowers, tedders, baler, oh yeah. Hauling all of that equipment was so slow. Doesn't doing the fertilizing contracts eventually add to more profit if you also get the contract to harvest at some point too? Never worked that one out, honestly. I've never tried that. I mean, you're probably right. Because the AI never fertilizes their fields, right? Well, I'll say never. They don't typically fertilize all... I don't know for sure that they never do. I think historically they tend to not fertilize their fields. So when you do a harvesting contract, you obviously get a lot less yield back, right? And so to your point, if you go fertilize a field as a contract, you guarantee that the fertilizer got put down. And then to your point, if you got a harvesting contract later, you've got that extra yield. You might be right. You might be right. That actually adds up to being... It's like you're helping the average value of the map go up just by doing fertilizing contracts yourself, since the AI typically does not do those. That's actually kind of a cool idea. Guess we go this way because the trees are in the way. I like this little barn right here. This is kind of cool. All right, so we are going to have the worker do all of this field though because I did not bring fertilizer with me. So we'll see if you can figure it out and how much it's going to cost us. So we do want to work the headlands this time. Oh, sorry. And start with the headland. That's fine. It's only going to be doing one anyway. Let's find out. Experiment time. I would not be surprised if this costs more than if we did it like if we actually spend more money than we make from the contract, but we won't know until we try, to be honest. Yeah, I was wondering if the weeding, plowing, and such counts for harvest contract results too, or if it's fanciful thinking. It really depends. Okay, here's a good question. Let's look at this field, for example. This field right now that we are harvesting, it only has a 40% yield bonus because it's only 50% fertilized. It needs lime, and it needs weeds. All right? We'll have to kind of keep in mind those other fields up here and see what kind of crop gets put on these. Specifically 9, I guess we did. And then we did 41. We did 19. We'll check some of those later and see if... well, I guess we can go check 41 right now, for example, right? Because I love the fact that we can go visit the field directly, right? Because it's up to 100% fertilized right now. So it's at 72% yield bonus. There's no reason that would just go away. But I think you're right. I think you're right about doing all the different actions to help other farmers out actually helps increase the yield of harvesting contracts. But again, I have not done scientific side-by-side evidence, but it does make sense. Hey, Yono C? Hopefully I said your name right, but hello, how's it going? Well, this is definitely going faster now that I'm making him do the middle, and I'll come around to the outside. So I think that was a huge win, because he definitely doesn't take that long to turn around and go straight line. How you doing? We're about 25% of the way through the contract. How much have we spent on fertilizer now? Let's see. That would be under... So we spent... Was it 18 something ourselves? What I'm looking for this. Spent 1920 ourselves, and he's a quarter of the way done, and he's added another $300 times 4, $1,200 for this field, and it's going to be worth $3,500 to us. Honestly, I think that's worth it. I could be wrong, but I think that's worth it. We might pay less if we brought our own fertilizer, but unless I'm just doing math wrong, I still think it's hugely profitable for us just to have the worker buy the fertilizer over here, and we just reap the benefits. This thing actually holds quite a bit of green bean. Well, I say that. What's actually happening is we're not getting that many green beans off this field. We've done a decent chunk of this field, and we've only got 6,700 liters of green beans. How much do green beans sell for? They have to sell for a decent amount if you don't get that much from them. I always forget which menu we're under. Still not a huge fan of the menu system so far. I don't know that I like the changes. Truth be told, I actually would be okay if somebody came out with a mod, and all it did was split these back out into separate categories. I would much rather these be separate categories, personally. Now, if I was using mouse and keyboard, this is fine. But using a controller, it just makes it harder. All right, green beans. Just straight up green beans would be... They're actually not worth that much. Now, granted, you can them. But by themselves, they're only worth $750 for 1,000 liters. That's not that much. Would it be cheaper to send the AI to the lime station to buy fertilizer versus AI auto buying fertilizer? It would be cheaper in the context of... I think it's cheaper to buy fertilizer from the lime station, yes. But if you figure out the time investment of having the AI, you know, do a little bit on this field and then drive over to the lime station, which I guess the closest one is here, and then driving back and then finishing up the field and then driving back to the lime station, fill up, drive over here and go back. Like, once you figure out the travel distance, I actually think it probably is almost break even versus the extra cost. And truth be told, I don't know that they're paying extra more than what you would buy from the store. I actually don't know. That's just speculation. I don't know that for sure. It used to be that way, that they paid a little bit more if the worker bought it than if you went to the store. But again, that's from like FS22 and FS19 math. I haven't checked it here. I mean, from a pure set it and forget it, make a little bit of money standpoint, it's definitely well worth it to have him buy the fertilizer right now. A few more paths left to go here. Yeah, that is interesting to think about, the whole prospect of us improving the yield of a field that we're planning on harvesting in a contract later. I really need to pay more attention to that. I probably should have just grabbed both green bean harvesters, actually. That would have sped things up quite a bit. It's alright. There's really not much anything I can do in my field right now. We're kind of just babysitting these workers right this second. Until they get done. I can't mow my field, can't do anything on my field. Usually I don't do contracts until I have something to do on my field. This time I decided just to try a couple, just to try out the green bean, do some other things, but in retrospect, maybe I should have just waited until we had something to do on our field before I did contracts. Still wish you could see the fertilizer on the ground, like on the map. Like there's just no way, with this much growth, it's impossible to see the fertilizer. Like you can't see it on the ground, you can't see it anywhere. At least if it was like lime where it would be white for a second, that'd be cool too, but it's just impossible to see. Is that your fertilizer spreader or is it borrowed equipment? This is mine. I paid $2,000 for it. Just to try it out. See how bad the capacity on it was. It's pretty bad, but our field is pretty small. I mean, our little field that we're going to be fertilizing is this one down here, number 4. And so that's pretty small. So it should be fine to cover that for a few cycles. You're not even close to being full yet. Wouldn't this be a contract we could just set and forget, but maybe I should just take over here. It's interesting that it has those little pockets that poke out once you're actually running the equipment. Maybe it's air? Is that some sort of like air system? These terrible weeds on this field. I guess I got to do have to consider that. We're not getting that much green beans off of this. But if I remind myself that it's only a plus 40% yield bonus, we are missing a lot of yield off of this because this field was not very well taken care of. Hey, our fertilizer guy's done. Alright, take over, worker. I'll go take care of the fertilizer guy. Stop. You don't need to do any more. So we spent... How much did we spend? Like I said, about $1,400 worth of fertilizer for a $3,400 contract, right? $3,700 contract. Honestly, yeah. That was worth it. And even more worth it, again, if we take into a context of what we were talking about, with regards to by fertilizing this field, any harvesting we do in the future will be better. So, yeah, even extra worth it in that context. There's some really nice fields on this map. I really like these. Not too steep, you know, pretty relatively flat, you know, nothing crazy. Most of them are pretty relatively normal shapes. Even the ones that are a little bit oddly shaped aren't. They at least have a couple sides that are pretty straight, that are easy to work through. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Oh wow, that's weird. I thought this was like a kind of a brownish field, but when you get right up on it's green. That's just the nature of the, what is this field? I'm confused. I get that it's oats. It's early in the growth cycle. Fine, okay. Why do we still see stubble? Is that a new thing? It's interesting that we're still seeing stubble on the ground. Like, wouldn't the process of seeding have gotten rid of the stubble? Because it would... Don't you have to cultivate before you seed, and therefore the stubble would be gone? A little confused. Alright, go to town. It's one of those few machines that might actually be easier to do from the inside. There's like a little conveyor belt on the front of this thing. Huh. Interesting. I honestly don't know how green bean harvesting works. Never thought about it. Obviously not driving as straight a line as the AI would. I missed a couple spots. I think the green beans, spinach, and peas aren't worth the time. I've heard spinach is actually very valuable, though. So if you mean like just the contracts aren't worth the time, that's possible. But I think they're actually supposed to be a really good crop to grow on the list of best crops to grow for money in the game right now. They did a very nice job with the map, lots of care and detail. I would agree. Wheel turning is just extra wild. Thank you for taking the time to first person this, it's cool. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I don't tend to first person a lot of stuff just because I like the, I don't know, for the lack of a better way to say it, I feel like I get claustrophobic being inside here. Whereas I like to see, like, visually everything outside usually, but this is not too bad. I know it sounds weird to be claustrophobic in a video game, but I don't know, it happens. I mean, the wheel turning right now is just because I'm flicking the controller just to make sure I'm lined up. I don't know why it's turning that much. Like, a little flick of the controller should not be turning it like that much. It's a little weird. And obviously I don't have the steering wheel installed right now, so I might set up the steering wheel, like I said, at some point. I just haven't had the time lately. I mean, I could use the GPS thing, but when I'm inside here, I guess there's no point. I guess I should. Sometimes I just like driving, though. There's a lot of weeds on this field. Goodness. Like, come on, dude. Show some respect for your crops, my friend. We're getting more weeds than we are green beans. Imagine if giants put hands and arms on the steering wheel. I bet they would look funny with how fast. Oh no, for sure. Obviously, this. I don't know why the wheel's turning that fast when I'm just literally flicking my controller, just like the microscopic amount to line me back up. But yeah, if there were wheel, I guess there would just be one hand on the like the little knob there, right? Just to kind of keep you straight. I don't think you'd have both hands on the wheel, you know, both sides of it. I don't know if that'd be necessary. Did a similar thing with water and Subnautica. I forget to breathe and pass out. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. I actually get vertigo in video games. Strange. Like Assassin's Creed. Playing some of the Assassin's Creed games and going up really, really high. In some of the buildings and stuff like that, it actually gives me like almost borderline vertigo. It's just really weird. I don't have an explanation for it. Like I've gone up high places in real life a lot, but I think when you're high up in real life, you can feel the stability underneath your feet at the time, right? Like, I don't know, it's just different. It's hard to explain. Yeah, I get claustrophobia and vertigo in video games when I don't get either of those in real life, which is just really weird. Almost died playing Subnautica. I haven't played Subnautica. I should try it sometime. The level of detail looks great. I agree. If you get vertigo, I would like to see you in some VR games. VR might be different just because of the nature of it. Tangy Monkey. Wow. Honestly, that's a wow. Love your content. Thanks for putting it out there for us. Can't stay long, so have a wonderful stream. Wow, you're actually giving me that much and you're not sticking around. I feel guilty now. Like, I guess you'll watch the VOD and I appreciate that, but wow. Huge thank you, obviously. I mean, I hope. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to say, honestly. Honestly, when somebody gives a big chunk of money like that, it's hard to know what to say other than just say thank you. And I guess that's all I need to say, but yeah, I mean, thank you. I don't know what to say. That's really awesome. I hugely, like... Now I'm a little embarrassed. I'm turning red. You made me turn red. Which I guess is convenient because of the color of the super chat on there is red right now. No, seriously, like, I'll say this, because I just, hopefully, and I'll leave it at this. I hope nobody gives any money to me, or feels obligated to give any money to me at any point in time. If you're giving money to me because, you know, you're blessed in your life or whatever like that, I appreciate it. Well, I just hit the barker. I was like, what's happening? Then I appreciate it, because I've done the same thing, right? I've given people money before as well. But please do not ever feel obligated to give me money. I do very well in life at the moment. I mean, I guess my personal belief is that God has blessed me quite nicely, and but I also appreciate the appreciation, because I also work hard on trying to do a good job with the videos and the channel and things like that. I've been doing it for, come January, it'll be 8 years I've been doing this, and so obviously I I appreciate the acknowledgement of my efforts. So thank you again. You did break me. I mean, I got broken. That is, I really, that's really kind of you to say. I mean, there's been a lot of other people who have said similar things and have supported me as in other ways. It means a lot, honestly. Why are you trying to just stop the thingy? I think I keep hitting the worker accidentally. You do good work you deserve. Well, I really thank you again. Very, very much. Thank you feels inadequate, honestly. I guess the best I could say is I will just keep doing whatever content you are happy with that made you feel like you should support me. I will just continue doing that content. That's probably the best thanks I can give you, is to continue to do the content. What does it take to start streaming? Honestly, a computer. And I guess a microphone. Although I think some streamers you could probably get by without it, but probably a microphone and a computer. You don't need a camera. You don't even need an amazing computer. Honestly, you could stream at a relatively low bandwidth. Get yourself started, and get a decent, get an okay microphone. Don't get like, I don't know, a cheap Logitech headset microphone that barely sounds good. Because people are, if you don't have a camera, you want your audio to be a little bit better, but you don't have to go spend $100 on a microphone. You can still get like a $30, $40 microphone that's still better. It just needs to be a reasonably decent microphone. You don't, like I said, you don't need the camera right away by any stretch of the imagination. Some people actually prefer it without the camera. Honestly, they do. So the camera is definitely not a necessity. And just make content. Oh, the other thing you need to start streaming, the ability to be okay with bad content. And what I mean by that is your first content when you stream or do videos on YouTube, they're never going to be good. You're never going to get, amazing top tier content the first time you start. It's going to be, honestly, really bad. If you go watch my content from like 8 years ago, it's pretty bad. But the more you practice, the more you get used to it, the better you're going to get. And eventually it just becomes natural. Truth be told, I can't play a video game now without commentating on the video. Like, it's really hard for me to play videos without talking about the videos I'm doing now. It's really weird, really dynamic. God bless your family this month, so I'm passing that. Oh, God bless your family. Well, I'm honestly very glad to hear that. Thank you. I'm really glad to hear that, Tangy Monkey. I hope things go well for you and your family. That is awesome. Had strife and dedication showing the worth. Hard strife and dedication showing the worth. I mean, yeah, it does take a lot of hours of... I mean, truth be told, I spent many hours putting up videos that got 0 views, right? It does take some perseverance because you are going to have a lot of videos that don't get any views, or a lot of streams that don't get any views. And it's okay, and it's a little weird, especially on the streaming side of things, that you're talking to yourself, right? You're sitting there talking to yourself for a 30-minute, hour-long, 2-hour stream with nobody watching. Now, you could wait till somebody joins to start talking, but honestly, you're losing practice. So, as hard and weird as it is, even if you're streaming to nobody, you should still commentate. You should still talk. You should still pretend somebody's there. Especially if you have VODs put up, because obviously then somebody will see those VODs. But even if there's no VODs put up, just talk. And get used to the talking part of it. Because the talking part of it actually is not as easy as it looks sometimes. And even I don't necessarily do it right all the time. Sometimes I say stupid stuff and, whatever, mumble and whatever. So you just have to practice. And I think that's a big part. And eventually trust that the people will show up. Especially if you're doing something you enjoy. Don't ever stream something you don't enjoy. That's another very important thing. If you don't enjoy it, people are going to know you don't enjoy it. And nobody benefits from that. I would love to start streaming. Well, I think I skipped one. These days you can even start streaming on console. Yes, 100%. Your effort to make quality content and engage with viewers in a thoughtful and pleasant way very shows. It really does. Thank you, Just there. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate it. I would love to start streaming for the same reason you started, Broyar, because I love games and I love to eventually do a charity. I do too. I've done one charity video series, which made a couple $100, which was nice. But I need to do another one at some point. Got a new job as well. You got a new job? Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Have you noticed that they give us gooseneck trailers, yet there is no truck with a fifth wheel hitch. I have not noticed that, Colton. That's actually really funny. I guess somebody will add a mod for a gooseneck trailer, or a fifth wheel trailer at some. You know what I mean? A fifth wheel truck that can take a gooseneck trailer at some point. I told you, talking is hard sometimes. You got those green beans done faster than I got the. Yeah, no, I did, because it's just faster, obviously. Oh, did I turn this off? I think I turned it off. Oh no, we're good. Yeah, it's obviously better, faster to do it yourself. But the reason why I like the AI doing the contract sometimes is because if I have work to do on my field, I can have an AI go make me money for free. Like it doesn't take anything from me. Go sit an AI on the field, let him harvest it, and I just get paid 10,000 bucks for me doing my own field effectively, right? So I do like having AI do contracts, but when I don't have anything to work on my own field, it's probably just better that I come over here and do the contract myself. A funny thing in life for some of us, told growing up, don't talk to yourself. That's a sign of madness. Fast forward to today, Twitch. No, you're right. I mean, you're right. It's actually really funny. I'm talking to myself. I mean, it gets really bad when I start arguing with myself. Yeah. I like to argue, and apparently, you know, I'm always right, which means I'm also always wrong if I'm arguing with myself. I think that's how that works. Guess our fertilizer guy's done. I love to entertain. I figured that that would be a great way to do so. Yeah, actually, I like the idea of entertaining as well, and I think it's a lot of fun. Plus, I also like sharing. I think I'm relatively good at video games. I mean, there's some video games I'm not good at, I'll admit that. But I think in general sense, I'm pretty good at video games. I can pick up a video game pretty quickly and understand what needs to happen. No, I feel like sharing that, you know, at the very least, me doing all the stupid stuff so you guys don't have to. Because even if I am pretty stupid about it sometimes, I will, I'll figure it out eventually. And you guys can make, you know, you can see my mistakes, and then you can see my fixes of those mistakes in due time. Keep hitting the worker button while I'm trying to turn the thingy off. So yeah. What charities do I like to support? I like to support, well, I mean, as a Christian, I tend to support a lot of Christian charities personally. Like I personally have contributed to one of the charities that does where you like kind of almost like adopt a kid, you know, that's out, you know, in a country somewhere that's, you know, having trouble, you know, whatever, stuff like that. So you basically donate money, you know, I think it's like Feed the Hungry or something like that. I've donated to those quite a bit. I've donated to, there was one that came out right after the Ukraine war started. That was the one when I did my grandfather tribute charity. I contributed to, I spent a couple $100 I think to Ukraine for some food and stuff, which I know it's not much, but every little bit I can do is helpful. I think it's good. But anything honestly that's going to help people with their daily lives. I would personally tend to support a charity that helps human beings more than animals. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with animals. Again, as a Christian, I believe that God created the animals and we should take care of them. So I think they serve a purpose, but I personally would rather give money to human beings over animals, and that's just my personal preference. Again, nothing wrong with the animal ones necessarily, just I think humans are more important. That's just my feelings. Hopefully that's not a controversial thing to say. Humans are more important. So yeah, I would say anything that's feeding hungry people and stuff like that, I think is a good one. Because obviously everybody needs food. Food is, it's a sad reality that we live in a world where my kids can waste so much food and throw it in the garbage. And there's people in the world that just can't eat, you know, it's sad. I'm talking to the people in the box. I'm not crazy, I swear. Yes. Yes, chat replies to, it's normal, Ma. Yes. Yes, my parents hear me talking to myself. What side of the thing is the output on? Move bunker up. What? Oh, wow. So that's how this thing empties. That's really cool. I was like, how does this thing empty? What does this bunker button do? Okay. I was not expecting that. That's a little cool, I guess. Alright, cool. Sorry, I gotta catch up on chat. Also, not to be a full-time complainer, some these trailers like the cattle trailer and some others have no option to use a ball hitch. Just a pin hitch on the trailer. I would agree with you on that one, Colton. I feel like, at least in the context of a video game, you should be able to have both. Even if in real life you couldn't, although I feel like most of those you could have in real life, I feel like you should be able to connect to anything, honestly. It would be a little easier. With digital farming for food. Yes. Thank you, Mikey. That's right. For the Feed the Hungry one. That's cool. Food banks are always a great charity support. I try to volunteer what I can. Yeah, I wish I should volunteer more. But at the same time, I guess if I can contribute money from work that I do to a charity, at least that helps a little bit, I guess. What's up, Broyar? Hey, Danny. Hope you're having a good night. Just got off work, so a little late. What are we working on tonight? Well, right now we just finished up a green bean field. We've got another green bean field to go do, which is going to take a little while because the workers are really bad at doing green bean fields, apparently. But we'll go work on that here in a second. Got about thank you, Tinky Monkey, again. Hopefully you hear this if you've already left. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. Can't wait to catch up on the VODs. Yep. I really enjoyed your silver run with forestry. I really enjoyed that too, Jay. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed the forestry one after avoiding forestry like the plague for so long. And then when I get onto it, it was a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to a forestry map in FS25, 100%. Beta is now going to demonetize Broyar. Yeah, because I said human beings are more valuable than animals. Sorry. I didn't say animals were bad. I didn't say I don't like animals. I just said humans are more important. That's all, okay? It's so cool that you do that. I'm a staff attorney that provides free legal service to the local homeless population here in Alameda County. Well, that's very cool. It's awesome that you're providing free services to people that honestly probably need them and can't afford them. Lawyer services, legal services they're not cheap. Honestly, they really aren't. And a lot of people can get taken advantage of because they don't have legal services. It's a sad fact. It just is. It's one of those things, and I wish it wasn't the case. Oh, actually, the next green bean field's very close. My parents never made a lot of money growing up. My dad is a pastor, preacher, minister, whatever word you want to use. And my mom was a school teacher. So, two jobs that just don't make money. And, you know, so they're never really like money savvy, if you will. And I remember when my dad, I talked about this when I did the American Truck Simulator series recently. My dad got into a really, really bad car accident when he was, when I was like 2, I think, 2 or 3. So I guess he would have been 20, 22, 20, probably about 22 years old. So very young, obviously very, very young. And I mean, we don't know why he didn't die, quite frankly. It's one of those situations where you look at the accident afterwards and you're like, there's no explanation for this, for him to be alive anymore. But anyway, all that being said, they could have sued the insurance company for a lot more money, and they didn't understand, you know, the kind of the legal side of things, anything like that. And so because they didn't, the insurance company kind of took advantage of them a little bit. So to this day, we're talking 40 years later, my dad's still paying medical bills from that accident 40 years ago because he didn't get it was not his fault. It was not to blame. He should have had everything completely paid for by the insurance company of the people that caused the accident. But because they didn't understand the legal side of things and were just naive, obviously at 22 years old, they just didn't understand. He just never did. And unfortunately, like I said, to this day, he's still paying for it. It is what it is. Let me just get you started just so I can kind of go check out some things real quick. Take those other green beans off. So yeah, anybody that provides free legal service, I think you're doing a really good... That's really awesome that you're doing that. At least there's free public defenders. That's true. But free public defenders aren't typically going to help you with less... Like, they'll help you if you're like in trouble, like in like legal, like criminal trouble or things like that, right? They're not going to help you sue a insurance company for money that you deserve because of an accident somebody else caused. I don't think that's... Now, there are legal companies now that will take your fight and not charge you, although I don't know how realistic that is, I haven't really done it, not charge you unless they win or until they win and things like that, where they just get a percentage of the money that you make. But again, my parents just didn't understand the legal side of things, and so they didn't even know that was an option, you know, all sorts of stuff. But, and now 40 years later, there's no point in even trying, so. There's a couple things, you know, if you go look at, especially in America, if you guys are not in the United States, maybe it's different, but in the United States, right, if you go look at our high school curriculum for what you learn, right, you learn about literature, you learn about geography, you learn about science, all those things, those are fine, those are good. But I also wish that our high schools would do a better job of teaching us about real life finances, like credit cards and, you know, loans and, you know, just things like that, interest rates. 401ks. I don't know anything about, I mean, I do a little bit now because I've researched it, but coming out of high school, I didn't know anything about a 401k. So if I would have gotten a job right out of high school that offered a 401k, I wouldn't have known what it did, you know, that kind of stuff. And then also legal stuff, understanding kind of legal, like what you are and are not allowed to, like what, I don't know, I just wish that, we learned more real world things in high school. I just think that would be so much better, but it is what it is. I'll get off my soapbox now. Part of the reason why I'm passionate about this, I guess, because my kids are in high school right now, and I get to see what they're learning. It's just like they're not learning the stuff they need to learn to actually survive in a world today. Literature is not going to get you through the world today. I'm sorry, it's just not. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn literature stuff, but it's just not. It's not going to help you with the real world. We want to take this to the canning factory, which is. I'm blind as a bat and not seeing the little dot. Where is it? Is that up there in the top right? That must be in the top right. Because this one goes to the... Oh, I can't even see this one. This one goes to the Grain River Silo. I'm blind. Oh, it's right there. Dead top middle. This one's top middle. This one is top right-ish. Okay, we'll take this one up there. That's a long ways to drive, actually. I'm actually going to have you headed that way with the worker first. I'm going to go turn in that other contract while you're heading that direction. So let's go here. Let's go to, just head this direction. I'll take over at some point. Just kind of head up this way. And we'll come back. All right, let me go get you turned in. So sorry to hear about your father's misfortune, how the insurance company exploited his naivete. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, but 40 years later, I mean, my parents are fine. Like it's painful to have to pay off medical bills this late, and you know, but at least, I mean, they've had a happy life. So I mean, it just kind of is what it is. For real, teach the kids how to cook, retirement, etc. I agree. I mean, do we even have cooking classes in school anymore? I know we, like my sister when we were kids or we were in high school. Again, this is what 20 years ago, I guess. She took a baking class, I think. I don't know if they still do that home ec type stuff. I think the actual term home ec might be offensive now, which is really stupid. But I mean, you got to teach people how to live. You know, living is important. Attorneys who work on contingency typically take a third of the judgment award. It's a pretty significant amount. Which I mean, if you have no money to pay for an attorney, you getting 2/3 of something is better than 0 of nothing. But I'm assuming that's a bigger cut than if you could pay for the attorney. You probably would make out better from whatever the result was. So pros and cons. When I went to school 20 years ago, we were skinning deer skins and tanning them. Yeah, actually, Shiny Mood Tank. I mean, I graduated from a high school in Texas, but when I was younger, up through like 6th grade, I lived in Arkansas. And Arkansas is one of those states that has an explicit, not only do we have spring break, but we actually have a week off for deer season. Once deer season starts, they take an entire week off of school for the beginning of deer season because they know all the guys in high school and middle school are going to be going out hunting with their dads. So, yeah, deer culture, deer hunting, any type of hunting was very common where I grew up back in the day. All right, do we have any other fertilizing contracts while we've got this guy with the fertilizer right now? Do not see any. Okay, so we'll take, we can always take this guy back. Although we can go get some fertilizer and fertilize our field. Do that. Where is the store? Let's go here. Store is down and around, or I could take this ferry. I guess I'll go up to the ferry this time because it's Like right here, right here. All right, fine. Like my favorite subject in school, well, I like math. Math was always fun. And of course, math you do use in your day-to-day life, at least at some level, most of the time. I liked geography. I like that kind of stuff, which is still useful, you know. Although now in the world of GPS, I guess geography is maybe a little bit less useful. I liked history. History is not useful. I mean, it's good to know where you come from, I suppose, but in my day-to-day life, the fact that I love history and enjoy my history classes probably not very useful in my computer science programming job, but still, I still enjoyed it. So I have taken classes that weren't necessarily, you know... Whoa. That was creepy. Was that a woodpecker? Or was that something else? It was very loud. Like, I get the benefit of some classes that aren't necessarily, you know, your day-to-day life beneficial. You still got to have some balance, right? You got to learn about the arts and the other things that are beneficial to just knowing culture. You know, culture's still important. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think we should have culture at the absence of other things that are more worthwhile. All right, so let's see if we can start the ferry. I don't think this thing costs anything, does it? Please stop the engine, set parking brake, stay in vehicle. Sorry about that. I'm in the vehicle. I stayed in the vehicle. Nothing to see here. Have you seen videos online where kids drive tractors to high school once a school year? They're just a parking lot of tractors. When all the tractors in the parking lot cost more than the school. Tractors are not cheap. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Get to know history so it doesn't repeat itself. Well, yes and no. I mean, yes. The premise of what you're saying, 100%. It's good to know history so it doesn't repeat itself. Unfortunately, just knowing history does not guarantee it does not repeat itself, as we all know. Sad but true. History does have a way of repeating itself. There's a reason why that statement is also true. Let's go fertilize our field. Where's our other tractor at? Oh, how are you doing, buddy? You're getting it done. Good job. Oh, you are not even going anywhere. Apparently, I didn't notice that you got stuck. My bad. Why? Alright, let me just tell you to go to here then. We'll create a job to have you drop off up there. Great job. Deliver to... Still wish I could select this, but we'll just tab through until we find it. Canning factory. Oh, this is the canning factory. Yeah, that's right. That's where we need to go. Okay, yeah. We don't need a loop. And so we can go. Maybe. All right, you're going. We need ethical journalists. Let me come back to that. I have a woodpecker that lives in the tree beside my bedroom and wakes me up when I want to sleep. I mean, woodpeckers are cool. I would imagine it gets annoying after... I would imagine the first time you saw it was like, hey, that's cool. After a little while, when you got woken up, it's like, no, suddenly not cool anymore. It's actually very annoying. But it's cool at first, I would imagine. Ethical journalist. Yes, I would agree. Yeah, I don't know how else to say that. I think you're right. I don't care what the truth is, even if it's harmful to me or things that I believe in. I think journalists should always just report the truth, and I would hope that that is what they want to do. But unfortunately, in this day and age, and it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on. I'm going to keep politics completely out of this because I think it's true on both sides. Both sides, or any side, there's plenty of non-ethical journalists at all times that always skew the reporting, and it's a shame that that's the case. And any matter which country you live in, I guarantee you there's plenty of journalists, no matter which country you live in, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, you can find a journalist that is unethically saying things that are either completely blatantly not true or skewed in a way to make it sound better or worse than it actually is. Wow, that woodpecker is loud. What's worse, a woodpecker or a rooster chicken? That's a good question. I mean, the woodpecker noise is very, like, hammering on a wall, right? Like, it's very, like, loud and... But a chicken... That's a good question. I feel like I could ignore the woodpeckers quicker than a chicken. Like the chicken or the rooster specifically. Just cockle-doodle-dooing all day or all morning. I think I would, like, it would drive me up the wall after a while. It's still, again, having not lived on a farm, I would be, hey, this is cool for the first time. And then after a while, I'd be like, hey, this is not cool anymore. A chicken, you can eat them. Well played. Well played. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a woodpecker tastes that good. It's probably not big enough to make any sort of food anyway. How big is a woodpecker? Like they're like blue jay and like that size. Like they're like normal, like kind of small bird size, aren't they? Like a pigeon or something. Like they're not very big, are they? Wow, this is a giant field. All right, how are you doing? You about to get here? You're actually not that close. All right, well then let's, I guess we'll take over for you. Because we know we can do this job faster. Actually, let me turn on the GPS thing. I'm going to be in here, I might as well. Okay, okay, and then... So, activate lane, turn on cruise control. Go. There are different ones. Some are songbird size, others are bigger. Crow size, really? Okay. Small crow, gotcha. I read that as cow size. A cow-sized woodpecker? That would be scary. That would be very, very scary. I mean, I suppose a cow-sized anything would be very scary. So, as other than a cow, I guess a cow-sized cow is not that scary. Why is the line off? Oh, I was looking at the wrong part of the line. That's why. Activate lane. Lower the thing. Turn on cruise control. Oh, it didn't activate. Activate lane. There we go. I gotta get the rhythm down. There are dozens of varieties of woodpeckers in various sizes. That's good to know. Truth be told, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a woodpecker in real life. Surely I have, though. My grandparents used to have, like, used to be able to see the holes in the trees where the woodpeckers would well, peck the wood. But I don't know that, I just don't remember. I remember actually seeing a woodpecker. It would live in my house, not the tree beside it. Yes. A cow-sized wasp. Yeah, that's... Honestly, a wasp-sized wasp I'm not a fan of. Forget a cow-sized wasp. How fast will a cow have to flap its wings and take off? I can imagine cow landing in a tree. Oh, how did we get on this conversation? Would it have, like, bubble wings or bird wings? Good question. I imagine bird wings, but that's just... I don't know. Probably because I'm used to, like, the idea of, like, griffins and things. You know, if there was an animal that I could have, like, own, like, of any animal, right, you know, in the world, I would love to own a lion if I knew it wasn't going to kill me one night. You know what I mean? Like, I'm typically more of a dog person, but lions are really cool. And if I could have a lion that I could just, like, you know, have around and just hug on and lay down, watch TV. I don't know, just kind of a lion that was like, that was acted like a dog. That would be the coolest animal in the world, but obviously it would just eat me one day, and that's not healthy. Would love to have it all. Hey, how's it going, Iceman? Glad you could join. Broyar has never lived on a farm. What about a neighbor with a loud exhaust engine that would wake you up? I can't talk because I was probably that neighbor that had a loud exhaust engine. Although that's not entirely true. When I had my Mustang, obviously it was very loud, but I was always very mindful because the one I had was one of the newer ones where you could change how loud the exhaust was. And so anytime I was in my neighborhood, I put it on quiet mode. So it was as quiet as it could possibly be because I didn't want to cause problems with my neighbors. I'm not that kind of person, right? But obviously when I'm out on the highway, I probably had it as loud as it could go. You know what I mean? So, I definitely was the loud exhaust person, but I was trying to be mindful within my own neighborhood at least. Right, come back here. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Activate. Here's your control. Go. All right. Lots of them in the greater San Francisco Bay Area where I live. They're beautiful and generally avoid urban areas. Oh, you're talking about woodpeckers? I was like, which conversation are we talking about? Yeah, okay. Broyar, in Alaska, people own wolves and half-breed wolves dogs. Yeah, I would like a wolf too, if I knew it was going to kill me one day. Wolves would be cool. I actually have a very large dog that looks like a wolf. I mean, it doesn't look like a wolf, but it's a very, it's one of those, what are they called? There's a name for them. Like Siberian Huskies are one. I have a Siberian Husky. I also have an Alaskan Malamute. My Alaskan Malamute is ginormous. So he's not really wolf-like, but he's got kind of wolf features in some ways. But he's huge. And then I also have a Great Dane. So I have 3 dogs. My Great Dane, of course, is also very large, but less fluffy. A fluffy Great Dane, that's what we need to have in the world. My Great Dane's still basically a puppy, though. I mean, I think he's 2 years old, but he basically is just still a puppy because he just plays around and excited like he's a puppy still. It's funny. And of course, being a Great Dane, he doesn't know how big he is. He thinks he's the size of a Chihuahua, which if you've ever had a Great Dane, you'll understand that. They think they're tiny dogs. They do not understand. I had a lifted Sierra. She was a loud truck. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, yeah, any of those trucks like that, obviously, yeah, that's gonna have some trippy to it. I like loud exhaust. I can't lie. When I got my V8, I was like, okay, I can never go back to a turbocharged, you know, sporty car ever again. This V8 is too awesome. Especially when I cut out catalytic converter because it was damaged from 4x4. Yeah. The converter is kind of important, right? And the muffler, you know, anything like that's kind of important. I have a large King German Shepherd and 8 other German Shepherd crossbreeds. Wow, that's a lot of dogs. That is a lot of dogs. All right, read a poodle with a Great Dane. Yes, actually poodles are very large. A real, like a full-size poodle, not a toy poodle obviously, but a full-size poodle is a much bigger dog than I ever realized. Imagine the shedding of Great Dane. Well, I mean, I don't have to imagine because I've already got the shedding of a husky and a Malamute to deal with. They do shed a lot. I think my first time ever seeing a full-size poodle was actually in Paris, in France. And I was kind of surprised by how big it actually was. I was like, whoa, I've seen toy poodles before. This is... what is this? This is crazy. And it was actually a very well-behaved dog, too, because they didn't have it leashed or anything. They haven't collar or leash or anything like that. It would just follow its owner around. It would got on the subway. The owner rode to the next stop. It got off the subway. It was just a very well-behaved dog. It was very cool. I call my dog an Arkansas Shedder. Yep. Are you from... Was that just a random word, or are you from Arkansas, Josh? You don't have to tell me. You do not have to admit where you live by any stretch of the imagination. But no, I'm curious. Because like I said, I have family... Well, I guess I had... Well, sadly, I had family in Arkansas. Unfortunately, all my grandparents have now, as of a couple weeks ago, have now moved on. But I still have an aunt and some cousins in Arkansas. Ozark. Yes, I know exactly where that is. When I was young, you know, up through 6th grade, I lived in the Ouachita Mountain Range in Arkansas. And, but I also know, obviously I know where the Ozarks are. Been there many times. Arkansas is a beautiful state. I really do like it a lot. Actually, where I live in Colorado now, minus the mountain, like, obviously, the mountains in Colorado are much bigger than the ones in Arkansas. In fact, the mountains in Colorado make the mountains in Arkansas look like hills, quite frankly. But you take the forested areas, the rivers, the lakes, just the nature of it all, that's where I live in Colorado right now, and I love that. I love that nature feel. Like, it reminds me of Arkansas, which is really cool. Let me turn the worker on for a second. Actually, yeah, let me turn the worker on for a moment and go check on our... You going? You're going. Okay. Wait, did I confuse you? Where are you going? Okay. Why are you confused? I have it set to do the hedgerows? No. Why are you confused? Worker? I just want to go check on your buddy. Make sure he's got everything dropped off okay. What are you doing? Guess you weren't lined up quite where you wanted to be. Alright, whatever. You figured it out. Very strange. Oh, this is the best thing ever. Oh, I'm so glad I switched over here to find this guy. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so good. Oh. Why did he choose this way to go? Like, I'm just gonna drive through somebody's, driveway here. Oh, the AI is so awesome. It's the gift that keeps on giving, guys. The AI in these games. Like, why would it ever choose that road? Oh, it's so good. Oh, I'm so glad I came over and checked that guy, though. He would have been there the rest of the stream. I need to add, that is definitely going to be added to the list of the stupid things I've seen the AI do. Because the AI has done some stupid things in my, over the years, and that's probably the best one right there. And he was determined to make it through there too. He was not going to stop. All right, we made about $1,000 extra, which isn't much, but it's something. It adds up. Oh man, AI. Love you, AI. You're so good. All right, well that contract is done, and that should not be the one that we borrowed from, so we should be able to turn that in. $3,700, not bad. Actually, plus the extra 1,000, almost $5,000 from that. You've seen that before, exact same house. Apparently, they like that road. That's really funny. Make AI being able to have a square for AI driving into the river. Yes, I'm telling you, one of these days we are going to find the AI in the middle of the river. I'm counting on it. In fact, I will be disappointed if we finish FS25 and the AI has not driven in the river at least once. Where are we going? Okay, well, I guess we're taking you back to down here. Let me do it this way. We want you to go to. We want you to navigate to here. Just come up to this road, I guess. Hopefully you are smart enough to get there without doing something stupid. But maybe I'm giving you too much credit. And let's go find our tractor now. Our tractor should be done fertilizing, so... There we go. For the cost of doing a few contracts, we got a fertilizer, and we're able to... Oh, I forgot to turn off the paying for the fertilizer. It's fine. But I didn't mean to turn that off because we obviously had enough fertilizer here for ourselves. I'll put this over here somewhere. I'm sure Grandpa won't mind if I use his barn over here. Alright, let me go turn that off before I forget about it. Should be an easier way to turn this on and off, honestly. But maybe there is and I just don't know it. All right. Well, while we're doing other things, any other contracts we want to pick up while we've got only one contract at the moment? I mean, the cultivating is tempting because it is a good chunk of money. I really like the harvesting ones, though. There's more green beans. But we already know they're kind of slow. Red beets, probably also kind of slow. Honestly, if we did anything, I'd probably do the sorghum. Sorghum's usually... not too bad. I could borrow from one of these and use it for both. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I mean, there's still the mowing contracts. There's actually 2 mowing contracts. It would be pretty easy to knock out. I mean, technically 3, but this one's kind of small, right? Ah, it's right up there by 45, so we can knock it out real quick. Okay, let's do this. Let's do a mowing. I think mowing's fast. Let's borrow items for you. Although we're eventually going to get our own mower. So arguably, I could go ahead and go get my own mower now, but let's just do this. It's going to be fine. Let's accept this contract. We'll do 11 first, and then we'll do 45 and 34 together. All right, I like it. Every dollar counts. Yeah, you're right. Agreed. Every dollar does count. Hey Ethan, how's it going? Would it be smart to use the MacDon DLC since they gave you an extra 25? Yes, it is. It is smart to use the MacDon DLC. I'm convinced of that. We will work our way up to that at some point. Yes, 100%. As we get the money available to it, obviously we've got to get some money coming in, right? And then once we got enough money coming in, it is definitely worth going to that so that we can get even more money coming in from the extra yield. Now, because I do have it. I went ahead and bought it. After I watched some videos of it, I was like, okay, no, that's totally worth it. Let's go grab that now and kind of play around with that. It's not super expensive at the end of the day, honestly. $135,000 for the tractor, and then each header is, you know, varying prices, but it's not too bad once you're increasing the yield by 25%. And it increases both the crop yield and the straw yield as well. So it's actually really useful. Does that 25% work for grass? I mean, I don't know 100% for sure, but it does have a mower here. So Which actually means that we wouldn't buy a mower, right? Huh. I might have to test that. I actually don't know that answer. I know I saw some videos about people that use the header things. I actually genuinely don't know about this. That's a good question. If it does increase the grass yield by 25%, then we just use this as our mower, right? What is this one? Pickup headers are used to pick up windrows that can be threshed. Those are created with the windrower. What does this do? I'm not sure if I understand what this is doing. I get this one. This one just takes the crops, windrows them, so you can thresh them later. But can't you just thresh them with a... My understanding is that you thresh them with a harvester. You're not threshing with this, are you? Or am I misunderstanding something? I think I still don't understand everything about the Mechdon. And I need to do some experimentation at some point. Because I'm not entirely sure what this is doing. Oh, never mind. I get it now. I get it now. Yes. This is what you attach to the harvester as opposed to a harvester header. I was assuming it attached to this. That is not what happens. This attaches to one of these to thresh your little pile that you've already got windrowed. Get it now. Same thing with this. This is a header that you attach. Okay. Gotcha. I think that's probably what you're saying. Is a 4 wagon. The Mechdon harvester shreds them, but you need the PWA to pick it all up. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. And it's okay that this is not very wide, right? Because the Mechdon thing will actually push it into a pile, and this thing just has to be as wide as the pile to be able to go over it. So you use this in place of an actual harvester header. Got it. Still not sure if I understand this one. So if you know this one, let me know. I still don't understand this one yet. If this works as just a mower that gives you more yield, awesome. If not, then what is it? Sorry, I submitted and see purebred Chihuahua also. Her name is Gemma Teller Moore. Gemma Teller Moore. Funny. I actually have 2 cats as well. So I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. But that's about the extent of my animals at the moment. I tried to convince my wife to let me buy the kids a mouse, but for some reason she was against that. I don't know why. Where am I going? I think I'm going the wrong way. We're actually going right behind us. What's the best way to get there? Just to the right. All right. I was going the right way. If you can try to use this, I want to know how well it works. Yeah, I agree. I would like to know how well it works as well. It will definitely be worth testing at some point. I don't know about grass yield, but I will figure out one day. Just save it for cutting the grass. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll definitely try that. I think that's a good idea. I'll save it out and see what it does. All right, mowing's going. Green beans are still green beaning. Actually, you're almost full. You made it over here? Yes, you did. Good job. Wonder if you can harvest and empty at the same time. You cannot. Okay, well, good to know. I haven't planned on buying the pack, but if it works well, I am the same way. I was not planning on buying the pack, but then I saw some videos of how well it works, and I'm like, ugh. Plus, I like to show things to you guys. So I kind of had to, like, you know, eat my own words as far as I don't buy things that aren't part of the yearly pack. Just so I can show you guys. And that way you guys know if it's worth it or not as well. So it is what it is. Wait, you got it? Wait. You got the MacDon pack for free if you ordered FS25? Did you really? Because I didn't pre-order because I thought the only thing you got for free was the gold harvester thing. I didn't see the MacDon pack on there. I guess I was just blind, apparently. Oh, wow. Well, then, yeah, absolutely. If you had pre-ordered, it's absolutely worth it in that case. 100%. Swather doesn't harvest. It just cuts it and lays it in windrows to harvest after with the harvester with the pickup. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, so you don't actually harvest with the swath. It's just, it literally just makes a pile of, you know, it looks like straw, but obviously it's still got the heads of the crop in there, right? And so then you bring back the thresher with the harvester, and that's what actually makes the straw swath afterwards. And doing that first, it does increase both yields, straw and the actual grain, by 25%. I'll get my time machine and go back and pre-order. I mean, I would have pre-ordered had I known that. Actually, part of the reason I didn't pre-order is I was trying to decide if I wanted to get the collector's edition. I didn't ultimately get it, but because I waited so late to decide, I ended up just buying it off of the off of Steam whenever it came out. No, I did do the 1-year pass. But I guess maybe I didn't pre-order the 1-year pass. Maybe I just bought the 1-year pass after the fact. Fair enough. Well then, yeah, if you got lucky enough to pre-order, I think the MacDon pack is absolutely worth it in that case. Yeah, anything that's free is absolutely worth it. That's wisdom coming to you every Tuesday. Can't beat that logic that I've got, right? I mean, it's just such good wisdom. Free things are worth it. What was I going to do next? So it's too early to mow. I wish we could mow. I really should just stop doing contracts so we can fast forward and actually do our own field. We've been just sitting here looking at our own field for a while. It's getting there, though. We're up to 43% increased yield bonus. That's good. Guess I can take over for you again, since... Yeah. I might as well. Nope, didn't actually turn you on. Lowered the header, but didn't turn on the header. No, the gold harvest are part of the collector's edition of Farming Sim. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. I saw the gold thing, I was like, I don't really need a gold harvester. Like, it doesn't... There's no value of a gold harvester. But the MacDon thing, had I realized that was part of a pre-order, I absolutely would have pre-ordered for that. There's actually a collector's edition for Civilization 7 that I kind of want to buy. It's like 250 bucks or something. And I'm like, I mean, it's the game that I play a lot. And it comes with like a figurine. The reason why it's so expensive is because it literally comes with like a statue, like a figurine thing. But I'm just like, 250 bucks for a video game is a lot of money. At least the collector's edition for Farming Simulator was only like 80 bucks, maybe 60 bucks, something like that. It wasn't that much, honestly. At least not compared to some other games out there. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the green beans, because probably won't do them again. Kind of slow. Hey, how's it going, Delrose? There's a trend of people not buying newer games and playing older games or free-to-play games with microtrans. Honestly, it's not a bad idea. There is a lot of very good games that have been out for several years that I have never played, and I know that they're obviously very good, right? Like, I could definitely see being somebody who, you know, like, I won't buy a game unless it's 5 years old. You know what I mean? For one, you don't have to have the newest and greatest computer in order to play games that are 5 years old, right? You can go with a little bit less hardware. And I guarantee you there are plenty of games. If you gave yourself a 5-year threshold, you will never run out of games to play. Like, there's too many good games, you know, within that range, before that range, I should say. So I could definitely, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I could totally get by living off of my Humble Bundle subscription and nothing else. I get a lot of really good games off Humble Bundle that would fill up my day, fill up all my time if I wanted to. Oh, most of the bugs will be worked out also. That's actually a good point. Are you playing No Patience before? I don't know. I'm sorry, Delrose. I'm not sure if I'm understanding what you're asking. I apologize. I usually put games on my wish list and wait to play them unless there is a really good game like FS25 Starfield. Yeah. I mean, there's a few games that I want to play the day it comes out. Civ 7. I'm playing Civ 7 the day it comes out. I'm sorry. It's just, I will not wait for Civilization 7. But that's just me, because that's a game that I play a lot. Obviously, Farming Simulator. I'm going to play that the day it comes out. But games like Assassin's Creed, I still haven't played any of the Origin series of Assassin's Creed. I'm still on, like, I've been playing through the Assassin's Creed series, but I'm still on, like, the one in England right now. Like, I'm playing through the one in London, and that's okay. Like, by the time I get around to the Origins games, which I've heard are the best ones, by the time I get around to those, I'm paying, like, nothing for them, you know what I mean? And that's okay for me as well. Like, I like Assassin's Creed a lot, but I don't like it enough that I have to pay for it the day it comes out, you know what I mean? So it really depends on the game for me, whether I have to have it day one or not. And admittedly, the fact that I also play games on YouTube does influence how quickly I buy games sometimes as well. Just pick one of the Origins games that are exactly the same with different dressing. Well, that's good to know. My wife has actually played all of the Origins games, so technically I can't say that I'm not going to buy them until they're cheaper, because my wife has already bought them because she wanted to play them. But she bought them on console, and I tend to play things on PC. So I'll just buy them cheaper. I'll probably just have two copies. I'll have the one she bought in console, and then I'll buy the one on PC when it's like $5 or something crazy. But she played through all the Origin ones. She actually enjoyed them a lot. One day we should get Broyar to spend a day or two and play FS Mobile. I mean, I might try it someday, maybe, question mark? I don't know, we'll see. If I played FS Mobile, it would have to be on a port, like an emulator on my computer. I don't know if I'm not gonna play it on my phone, but I might play it if I can find me a good emulator. I used to have one. I used to have a good emulator that I actually paid for because I wanted to make sure it was, you know, high quality, but I don't know if I still have that anymore, or I'm sure it's somewhere. Am I playing on PlayStation 4? I am not. I am playing on my computer, PC. I actually don't own a PlayStation. I have multiple Xboxes and a couple Switches. No PlayStations. I also have a Steam Deck. I actually really enjoy my Steam Deck. It's really cool. I could probably play Farming Simulator on my Steam Deck, couldn't I? I'm starting to like this idea. Am I a tech guy or watch tech YouTube or strictly a game guy? I used to be very much into tech stuff. Lately, I don't feel like I have the time to keep up with it. And obviously, you know, if you're asking, you know, if you don't keep up with technology, it will pass you by like crazy. Technology changes so fast on a given day. So I would say I'm very much into tech stuff. Like, I do like it. I like to buy new tech gadgets a lot of times, but I don't keep up with the new tech scene, I guess, as much as I used to. Because we've been doing these green bean fields for 2 hours. Note to self, no more green beans. I know I said that already, but I'm putting an exclamation point on that. Green beans, kind of tedious and takes a long time. At least now you guys know. Green beans very slow. I did not mean to rhyme. Just so you know. Oh, I forgot it was me driving, not the worker driving. I wanted to come check on our mower guy. He's already almost done. Good job. All right, back to this. Yes. Yes. I'm having flashback to doing routes on Sri Lanka without the modded harvesters. Yeah. I mean, I did it though. We did the first mini harvest with those pulled harvester things. I stuck to it, and then eventually somebody told me about the modded ones, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then we never looked back. So yeah. I feel like I paid my dues with the bad harvesters before I got the good ones. Green beans, peas, spinach take a while, but they aren't near as bad as parsnips, red beets, or carrots. I would agree. Parsnips, red beets, and carrots, like, I do like the idea of them, but they do take a long time. Now, the one good thing about, and I don't know anything about green beans and spinach and all those, but the parsnips, carrots, and red beets, they're worth a lot of money. Like, we made, that phase of Sri Lanka was our most profitable phase, for sure. We made lots of money off of the preserved food as well as the canned food. It was good. Oh, contract finished. Let me stop you for a second. Let's go check out our mower. Get you moved over to turn this one in real quick, and then we'll go do field 34, I think it was. So let's get this one turned in. Easy, 4,800 bucks. Where did it go? Hoeing and mowing. Sorry. I'll accept you. Actually, I can go ahead and just have you drive up there yourself and start working the moment you get there. So let's go back up here, create a job, for you. Great job. Field work on 34. Oh, forgot to actually execute. I'm so used to like it doing it the moment I hit the button that I forget that execute is what we have to do now. You know, maybe that's why my other tractor wasn't moving, because I didn't actually hit execute before. It's possible. Alright, there you go. Now we can come back over here to you and continue on our merry way. Carrots and red beets are also needed now if you do horses. Yes, that's true. We want 100% productivity. Only worth 5%, so not too much, but still 100% is 100%. You're right. I mean, I don't know. You don't need much, though. You only need to do it like one time, right? Go do one field of carrots, and you'll have enough carrots to feed your horses for years, right? So it's not like you have to consistently do carrots, necessarily. But yeah, I did see that. By the way, frozen green beans are so good compared to canned green beans. Yeah, I mean, frozen most things are probably better than canned most things. Well, that's not true. It really depends. It honestly, I would say it's case by case. Case by case basis. Some things canned are better, some things frozen are better. It really just depends. And I can't give you off the top of my head which ones would be better on a given list. I'd have to try them, probably, to think about it. Also depends on your usage, what you're using it for. Beef, spinach, and green beans is just a continuation of that. There is a reason nobody does sugarcane. Yeah, sugarcane is very tedious. I can't work out how to get the carrots harvested. The harvester for them is weird and can't get it working alongside a trailer. No, you cannot. Unfortunately, you cannot do the carrots beside a trailer. Not with the carrot harvester itself. It's annoying. It's dumb. That's the reason why I hated it for a little bit until we came out with the modded ones, which basically allowed you to use a sugar beet trailer for for carrots. And once you got that, then you could run the trailer beside it, technically. But yeah, the built-in one, the base carrot harvester, you cannot run a trailer beside it. It's really, really frustrating. And it won't run. It's just bad. If you guys want to know why it's bad, go look at my Zalanka run. It's bad. And so, unfortunately, until you get the modded ones, there's just no use doing those. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to harvest here. Sorry, I was distracted. The harvesters don't have storage, so you have to have two people and one person follow. Yes, it's exactly Shiny Moot Tank. That is correct. And that's why they're annoying. I like the idea of carrots, but the execution a little bit to be desired. It doesn't affect the prices on horses in the long run? Well, then why do you... Then what's the efficiency for horses at all? Is it not, does the productivity or efficiency, whatever number it is, does it not mean anything for horses at all? That's interesting. I guess productivity is just productivity. Like, do beef cows? Does it matter if you give them 100%? I actually don't remember. I know milk cows it does, right? Because that's how you get 100% productivity, is by giving them 100% food. But for beef cows, when you're just selling them to, you know, to butcher them, does the 100% productivity actually even matter? As long as you use base food and hay, they will get to their highest price. Well, there you go. And I guess there's no reason to do carrots unless you just really want the 100%. Beef cows handling. That's what I thought. I thought you could give them the minimum as well. So it really is just animals that produce, like actually make something, where 100% technically matters. But even then, I've heard that some people say that TMR is not worth it for cows because, yeah, you get a 20% extra boost of yield versus just hay, I believe. But with the work involved, the 20% extra milk is just not worth the work that you put into it. That being said, I personally like the extra added, you know, things to do when doing TMR, but I can understand why many people just do hay, and that makes perfect sense. There's a lot of things in this game where, you know, things only exist for the people that want 100%, because they're actually mathematically just not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, and we talked about that before, the mulching and the rolling. Totally not worth it, unless you want to get 100%. Like, that's the only reason. I'm not sure about the horses, but beef cows will go to 100% on only hay, just slower to do so. Ah, I did not know that. Did you see how much buffalo milk or mozzarella sells for? So much. Well, yes, I've heard. I mean, I haven't actually done it yet because in my my other save, I haven't actually gotten the milk yet because my buffalo are still babies. But yeah, I did hear that the mozzarella and the milk itself sells for a lot of money right now. Just get to 100% before selling. I thought the life cycle itself didn't matter. Could be wrong. I think you're right. I think you're right that the life cycle does not matter. And if there was a difference with the 100%, you only had to do it for like the last month or two to get them to 100% before you sold them. I think you're right about that. Other than, again, milk. Again, milk, cows, as soon as they start producing milk, you get the 100% as soon as you start giving them 100%, right? But for beef cows and things that you sell like that, pigs, I assume, you don't actually have to be at 100% the entire time, if at all. So, cow's best price is 36 months. I think I knew that. But I also think it starts to taper off, doesn't it? Right? Because they eat more food the older they get. So, yeah, they're worth more at 36 months, but they've also eating more food per month at 36 months. I thought there might have been like an earlier break point where the balance between how much you're giving them food-wise and how much they sell for actually mass out to being sooner to sell them. Because then you could start having baby cows again, start the cycle again, and they obviously baby cows eat less. I thought there was like a earlier month where it actually mathed out to be slightly more efficient. But I think their max price is 36 months. I thought meadows regrew, but then somebody made a comment on one of my videos the other day and told me that meadows do not regrow. So and in my experience in my buffalo save right now with the Asian map, so far the meadow has not regrown. So, but of course it's not been a full year. It could be something where the meadow regrows once a year, but I heard somebody say that it does not regrow. So I'm assuming it will not. Oh, they don't grow in winter, so a lot of people thought it didn't regrow. Good to know. Oh, that is really good to know. Okay, so they will regrow once we get back to spring, just not during the winter. That actually makes sense, and I like that. I actually like that a lot, because the meadow should regrow. Like, that's the point of a meadow, right? It regrows. So that's really cool. That does exist, though. Now, here's a big question. Does the meadow regrow fast enough to feed a full pen of cows? I actually don't know that answer. Because it felt like my baby cows... I keep saying cows. They're buffalo. I know they're buffalo, but they're in a cow pen. My baby buffalo felt like they ate through the meadow real fast. I just realized my mower guy's not doing anything. He's still at 0%. He's stuck somewhere, isn't he? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I love you, AI. I really do. Hey, you actually made it further than I thought. You didn't... You're close-ish. AI gave 2 times. I mean, that one... I'll give him a small pass on that one. Because even I might run into that fence, at least the first time I drive through it. I'm just obviously driving, so I'm smart enough to back up and go around after hitting it. You know? But, yeah, anyway. Going under the house, though. You're never going to beat that one. That one is unbeatable. Unless they fall into the river. And then that's the only way I think they could beat the house one. You can only get them to 40% health on metal, and it won't last that long either. Okay, that makes sense. Need some mower driving practice. Yes, 100%. Animals don't die. Just depends on what you want to feed your animals' health and protect. Yeah, they don't die, of course. Yeah. You can leave them on 0% health for 6 months if you haven't gotten the harvest to feed them yet. And then as soon as you harvest the food to feed them, they'll bounce back up to 100%. So, yeah, they don't die. Although sometimes they lay out in the middle of the field and look like they're dead, which is a little creepy. Now here's my one complaint, and I guess it makes some sense given how you have to treat them. You got baby cows, you got baby pigs, you got baby sheeps and goats. Why don't we have baby horses? I mean, come on. I mean, I know we got to ride them, and riding around a baby little pony would be a little weird, but just make it where we don't have to ride them for the first, 6 months or whatever. Just they just exist for 6 months, and then eventually get old enough that you can ride them. I don't know. Just saying. You're gonna go to the trouble of putting baby animals on all the other ones. I think baby horses would make sense. Broyar, wait until one drives off the cliff on the Asian map and lands upside down. Then you can't... That's true. That will happen at some point. The game is rated E for everyone, so animals don't die. Can't push cars, can't run NPC over. Yeah. Fair. That's true. So I guess animals... Since it's rated E for everyone, does that mean when we sell the cows, we're just selling them to go live on a bigger farm somewhere else? Is that how that works? Just questions, just curious. The pigs go off and they're still alive somewhere. We just don't see them anymore. The farm in the sky, yes. Yes. That's why there's not a butcher production. Fair enough. I don't know. I feel like butchery, though. I mean, everybody... Not everybody, obviously. A very large number of people eat animals. So, just saying. I don't want to graphically see the butcher shop. I'm not saying that. But just acknowledging that it exists should be fine, right? So I'm just saying. Just like when we sell our horses, we can acknowledge the fact that they're probably going to the glue factory, Just, let's be honest with ourselves here. I'm actually kidding. Real question, serious question. Is glue still made from, like, hooves and things like that? Or have they come up with, like, synthetic stuff by now? I feel like they would have come up with synthetic stuff by now. Bacon. Yes, you can't go wrong with bacon, right? Bacon is what makes the world go around. I actually saw an article flip through my feed the other day. I didn't read the article because it was kind of, I think I was busy or whatever. But it said that scientists have now proven that plants can feel pain. Which, I'm not sure if I believe it. You know? But I guess somebody somewhere has felt like they've proven it. I'm not sure how you prove it. I guess you do a survey after harvest and ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 how much pain they felt. I don't know. But doesn't that suddenly make all of Farming Simulator kind of violent at that point? If that's true, I'm just saying. I run Meadowgrass all year, TMR in winter, and sell in spring for best profit. Actually sounds like a pretty good pattern, honestly. Some trees can communicate with each other when one is stressed for any reason. I've heard stuff like that as well. Like it's, and obviously there's the whole idea that if you play music for your plants, or like, you know, nice music for your plants, like they do better than if you play like hateful music or something like that. Like there's weird studies like that that I've heard of. Who knows how much of it is true. This right here is the best part of the GPS. The fact that the GPS can also follow the curvature of the field. That's pretty awesome. Oh, my mowing's done. All right, come on, I'll be right back. So green beans, yes. I was not actually expecting to have a stream of only green beans. I'll be honest. My apologies. We will never do green beans again. I think that is more to do with the vibrations they receive from the sound waves than the actual music. Probably true, but honestly, I wouldn't know how to prove it. I would not be surprised if you got the same results by simulating the music's waves with no sound. Also, probably true. I know Mythbusters tried to prove the music thing. I actually don't remember the results of that one. I think they were busted if I had, but I honestly don't remember. I haven't watched Mythbusters in a very long time. I need to go back and watch them again. Yes, Mythbusters was a great show. 100% agree. Another show that I can't really explain why I enjoy watching, but I enjoy watching it, and I've watched just about every episode of it, is Forged in Fire. I have never had any interest in knives, swords, or weapons of any kind, nor have I ever had any interest in blacksmithing of any kind until Forged in Fire comes out, and now I just can't, I watch them all. It's like, what? Where did this come from that now I'm enjoying something I never knew I enjoyed before? It's so weird. It's fascinating. But I think the reason I like Forged in Fire is because it's like it's art with a little bit of science thrown in, and it's just, and of course then you know, kind of the history of some of the weaponry and stuff like that, which I do like history, so I'll say that at least. It's cool. It's just cool in general. I think there's a lot of aspects of it that play to my mathematical scientific brain. I own a Nintendo Switch. I technically own two, although they're for my kids and my wife. I don't actually play them myself. You would be able to play Farming Sim 23 on there as well. You just need a capture card for your PC. Ah, okay. Yeah. So I do have a Nintendo Switch, so I could probably get Farm Sim on there, which actually my kids probably would enjoy having Farm Sim on their Switch. I feel like I'm doing these corners wrong. I think it's supposed to take me like an hour to do one corner, isn't it? I'm getting it done in like 10 seconds here. I'll just never be as good as the AI. At least this harvester has a good capacity. That is true. Well, good for green beans. Because obviously there's harvesters that are like this size for like sugar beets and stuff like that hold like 30,000 liters and stuff. This one holds what, 50,000, something like that. But apparently for green beans it's plenty, so I mean we're basically able to do this entire field with just two empties, more or less. Just be warned, Farming Sim on Switch is more expensive because it comes with all the DLC, while mobile version is cheaper. It comes with no DLC. Built separate. Interesting. So that's kind of funny. I just cultivated that field you're harvesting, and I'm harvesting spinach from the one next door. It's taken me almost an hour to realize this. Oh, you're actually on this. You're actually on the same one right now? That's funny. Is the spinach going faster than the green beans? At least? I would imagine it's about the same speed, because I think the header, the harvester itself is about the same width. Actually, let's look. What's that under? I still don't understand this menu. Like, I need to learn the menu. Not under harvesters, right? It would be under something else. Oh, down here. Okay. Spinach is... It doesn't say the width. But it looks about the same, right? That one says 3.3 meters. For some reason, that one does not. That one's 3.8 meters. So probably a similar width, right? It's about the same. Looks like about the same size. Same speed, yeah. I can't wait for modded headers for these things. Yeah. It'd be nice. I can't wait till we get hit by a tornado. I've never seen a tornado, but I've heard rumors that they exist. We'll see. I'm not going to spoil it for myself. I'm going to wait and see a... Did I actually turn on the worker? Oh, there we go. I'm going to wait and see what a tornado looks like once it actually happens to us. You want to see a tornado? I mean, I have lived very near Tornado Alley in my real life. I think I've seen a tornado one time in my real life, but I have been almost hit by many tornadoes over the years. Just never, thankfully none of them ever direct hit or anything like that. But I do feel bad for anybody who has been, because those are pretty destructive. Oh, it worked. I actually downloaded a mod off of the mod hub that's supposed to, which as you can see, stop harvesters once they're full automatically. So basically, if I'm doing the GPS steering, it'll automatically stop the harvester without moving it forward and, you know, doing more crop than it needs to. So it's cool that it worked there. I have a similar mod for baling as well, where if I'm using the round bales and I've got it on auto on GPS, it will it'll slow down and stop once the bale's full, drop the bale, and then the GPS will just kick back up and start over, keep going again. I thought that might be a kind of a good compromise from running a square baler as opposed to a round baler as opposed to square baler. Oh, a little too far away. My bad. My bad. 1 second. Have you seen the new Twister movie? What do you think of it as in compared to the older version? I have not seen the new Twister movie yet. I will watch it when it's free on Amazon or Netflix or whatever like that. There's not very many movies that I'll pay extra money for when I already pay for Amazon Prime and Netflix, quite frankly. As someone from the UK, the worst I've ever experienced is like 50-mile-an-hour winds or the tiny little dust devils that are cute. Yeah. Cute little dust devils. Yeah, there you go. Here in the States, we have all kinds of wild weather. Yes, we do. We have some really crazy weather in the States. And literally all kinds. Like, we have all the varieties. We got the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the, you know, what are they calling them now? The, we got bomb cyclones for like winter and blizzards. I mean, we got everything. I've only been skirted by tornado. No, thank you. I'll take them in game only. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I think in the game it'll be very cool. Even if it destroys half my field, it'll be cool. But obviously that is not to make light of the fact that in real life, hurricanes are quite scary. Oh, it's already on streaming. Okay, well then I think I actually have a Peacock subscription still. I don't keep Peacock around all the time. It's like one of those that I'll pay for a couple months when there's something interesting to watch, and then I'll cancel it. Whereas Netflix and Disney and Amazon Prime, I have those year-round. Those are permanents in my house. But yeah, if it's already out, I'll definitely watch it. I think I sent this the other day. The guy that stars in that, Glenn Powell, he actually graduated from my high school a few years after me. I didn't know him, but truth be told, there's a very good chance that, because my mom taught in that school district, there's a very good chance that my mom taught him at one point. Who knows? I'll have to ask her if she recognizes him. It's just cool to have somebody famous from, you know, wherever school you went to. It's just cool. I've got friends over there that had to flee Florida for that last storm that... Yeah. Those hurricanes are not a joke. They are rough. I mean, most of my life I've lived too far inland to be hit by any hurricanes. But like I said before, I have been close enough for tornadoes. Now I live in I guess technically wildfire country. So that's always a threat where I live now, unfortunately. Warning about the combine stop mod. It breaks cotton harvesters, so deactivate if you're going to do cotton. Oh, okay. I'm sure that will get fixed at some point, though. I found it tonight. Cotton harvesters lock the game up with that mod activated. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then definitely I won't use it for cotton. I mean, I'm not planning on doing cotton anytime soon. But maybe someday I will. But yeah, hopefully by the time I do cotton, it'll have it fixed. But thanks for the information. That's actually useful. I use a website app called Just Watch, and it tells you what TV show or movies are on what streaming platform. Also great to get notifications when a new EP is released or when a movie comes to stream. Oh, okay. I will actually probably check that out because I'm always curious about different movies that I've seen in theaters that I'm just like, you know what? I'll watch that when it comes to my house for free. For free. I have to use quotes because obviously it's not free. I'm still paying for it. But if I'm already paying for something, I'm pretty sure the math works out that that's free, right? I think that's how that works. It's considered free when you cancel an expensive cable bill. Yes. I have not paid for cable or satellite TV in many, many, many years now. Yeah, I have been enjoying the cord cutter life for a long time. I used to pay for YouTube TV though, which even that was still cheaper than cable TV, right? But I got to a point where we just realized we weren't, as much as I did enjoy some things on YouTube TV, we still watched most of our stuff on Netflix or Prime or YouTube. Honestly, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that, right? And so we just eventually canceled YouTube TV itself. I am now currently paying for YouTube Premium though, because you know, I don't like watching ads on my YouTube as much as anybody, but I also, as somebody who, you know, gets paid from people watching ads, you know, I figured, you know what, if I'm going to watch a bunch of other YouTubers, I'll pay for premium, so at least I know that they're technically getting paid, and I don't have to worry about the fact that I'm using well, obviously I don't use a ad blocker anymore because YouTube Premium gets that out, but I felt like a good compromise. I'll pay for YouTube Premium, and then I don't have to worry about ads, and I can still support the people that I watch. That seems like a good idea. That is not for me trying to sell you guys to buy YouTube Premium, by the way. Not at all. Do not buy YouTube Premium just to support me. It was just more of a, I thought it was a good idea for me personally because of how much I watch it. If you want cable TV, get a digital antenna, watch free channels with your local stations. Yes, that is true. A lot of people don't know that, but the main stations, right? ABC, NBC, I think even Fox, right? ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, a lot of those, they have to offer free, like they have to be able to pick up on an antenna, like you just said. Like I think it's part of the requirements for having their license or something like that. Because you have to be able to have news, right? Like news is a right, I guess we have in the United States, and so, and maybe elsewhere, who knows? But yeah, I've used a cable or a digital antenna before, actually. PBS, yeah, PBS is another one. I actually don't know where I used to have a digital antenna. I actually don't know where it is these days. These days, those free stations are 4K. But yeah, well, that's actually, it sounds like a feature, right? Like an upgrade. Oh, cool. all these news stations are 4K now. It's actually for a very good reason. I think all the stations have to be 4K now because the government decided to take back the bandwidth for the lower resolution, you know, antenna waves. So I think they literally have to be 4K now because of restrictions and stuff around what the government allows them to use from a bandwidth standpoint. Or bandwidth, like the waves. I say bandwidth, you know what I mean, the waves. Like there's like a certain waves of megahertz that they're allowed to broadcast on. And I think the low definition ones have gotten repurposed by the government at this point. At least I heard something like that a while back. I don't remember exactly where. Probably some science video I was watching was talking about it. Well, we're almost done with our green bean. I think we'll finish our green beans during the stream, but it took us the entire stream. I promise I will not do green beans again. Sorry. I mean, we're going to get good money off of this. I mean, if you look at how much money we've made off of this, let's see. Let's go turn on that other mowing contract real quick. Actually, we got two of them. Collect and collect. And if we go look at how much money we've made this month, we've made 16,000 bucks and we haven't even turned in the big contract yet. This is going to be a $25,000 month, right? It's not bad for 1 month. But I'm ready to get to our own fields. I think we're going to cut out a little bit of the contracts in the future. Or at least only do contracts again if we're actively doing stuff on our own fields, probably. Things like that. It's alright. At least we got to talk. I got to talk with you guys and explore different and talk about different things, and it's all good. The old VCR-shaped Xbox One used to have a support for digital antenna and DVR to rewind and record those free stations, but Microsoft removed that feature since no one used it. Fair enough, yeah. Do you guys remember when the old Xbox, you actually had to buy a DVD remote to unlock the ability to watch DVDs? Because even though it had a DVD tray, you weren't allowed to access the DVD portion without the specific DVD remote. Very strange. Yeah, I mean, I think it came down to something related to not licensing. What's the word? Something. It had something to do with how the DVDs were protected. I think it had something to do with it. It was something really weird. There was a very weird reason for it. I mean, probably part of it was also because Microsoft was able to make extra money off of it, but I don't think that was the only reason. I think there was another reason for it. It was a really strange reason. It's been a while, obviously. It's many years since we've looked at that, but I vaguely remember there being more than just Microsoft trying to make money from it reasons. Green beans. Yes. 4 hours later, green beans. Funny enough, I own a media remote for my Xbox Series X. I use my Xbox for streaming apps because my Series X is way more powerful than those cheap smart TVs that lag. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point. Beating the dead horse, yes. We're almost done, I promise. Never again, I promise. Technically, we're done now because we're already at 80%, but we will definitely finish up this harvest. Get a little extra money from it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna see a great can of green beans. Yeah, and my wife's gonna be wondering why I'm like curled up in a fetal position on the floor after seeing the can of green beans at the store. Yeah, I'm gonna have to explain that one to her. That's gonna be a really awkward one. Be like, well, you see, I know how these were made, and it's not pretty. I guess one thing I can appreciate about Farming Simulator, yes, you can fast forward time to get through months so that crops grow faster, right? But the harvesting part and all of the field work, there is no way to fast forward the field work on a field, right? Which means, other than like mods that cheat and stuff like that, so let's ignore those. The real equipment they've got here simulated, that means that a real life farmer who had a real life field that's exactly this size right here, it would have taken him 3 hours, two hours to harvest this field. Like, we're actually experiencing a fairly realistic time frame of how long it would actually take to harvest a field of this size. Which kind of gives me a little bit of respect for farmers, you know? I mean, I'm sitting here complaining about spending 2 hours doing this. A farmer typically works, what, 10-hour days at least? More than that? Think of all the things they do in a given day. It's so slow, so slow. I figured I'd bring up during the lull to point out we've been harvesting green beans. Yes, we have been harvesting green beans for 3 hours. The plan was to have the AI harvesting green beans for 3 hours while we did other things. The problem was, the AI would have taken 6 hours to harvest green beans, and so I took over to therefore make it only 3 hours long. So, in fact, had I not taken over, I'm pretty sure the AI would still be doing that first corner on that first field right now. So, it is what it is. We're done! We're done! Victory! Now we gotta drop it off. Where's this one going? This is going like middle of the field or middle of the map or somewhere like that. Yeah, right up there. It is the Grain River Silo. Guess we'll go down. It doesn't really matter which way we go. They're both not really one way shorter than the other. Guess we'll go to the left here and then go up and around past the store and then to the right. Still be in that corner. Yes. I love the AI in this game, in this version of the game. But not very fast. Still a little slow. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. I don't know why. I just love this little creek running through here, winding its way through, taking different paths. Like, this is cool. Much more life, for sure. Yeah. I love it. In future, get the AI to do the up-down rails first. Yes, I agree. 100%. Which I did eventually let them do the up-downs at some point. It saves them from the weird header corner thing they do with the new crops. Okay, well, good to know. If they do the up-downs first, will they just do the... Will they still be able to do the headlands, but just do it better? Because they don't have to do the up-downs anymore or something like that? I'll try that next time. Want to share his suffrage from root crops on Sri Lanka map by making us watch it live instead of a montage. Yes. Now you guys know how much I suffered. Don't worry, I will never make you suffer this way again. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's possible I will make you suffer this way again. It's not anytime soon, hopefully. Oh, this tractor is, it's struggling. We got 34,000 liters of green beans off that field. That's actually a lot more green beans than I was expecting to have. Pretty impressive. I mean, that's what, $30,000 worth of green beans? About 28,000, something like that. It's not bad. I mean, we're not going to get that much money, obviously, but if that was my field and I spent 2 hours and got 28,000 bucks, that's even before sending it to the canning facility, right? If you take it to the canner, it's gonna be worth even more. It's actually not bad. I have spent 2 hours doing many things that were way less money than that. Yes, from what I have seen while testing it myself, so that could just be RNG with AI being AI, so I'd say 70-30. Fair enough, fair enough. Imagine the amount of green beans if it was fertilized. That is true. And here's the thing about fertilization. And I know it's logical and it makes perfect sense, so I'm basically stating the obvious, but it's the exact same amount of effort, obviously, to harvest it if it's got extra yield. Like, there's no extra effort, other than that we'd have to drop off the green beans at least one time already because the trailer's almost full. Other than that, I mean, fertilizing is such a huge value. I really want to see if us fertilizing all these fields and doing the weeding and stuff like that, if that actually makes a big difference or not. It would be very cool to see that it does in fact benefit us in the long run. Or does the contract farmer just take a bigger cut? You know what I mean? Like, let's say he's expecting 30,000 liters here and we get 4,000 for ourselves to sell. If we were to double the yield because of all the fertilizing and stuff like that, and we got, 60,000 liters, is he then expecting 55,000 liters, or is he still expecting the original 30? I'm pretty sure his expectations go up, but it would be really cool if they didn't, and we actually got the extra 30,000. That would be very cool. But I'll be honest, I've never actually tested taking care of another farmer's fields and seeing if it helped the contract when the harvesting came around. Alright, let's just sell this. I actually made $4,000 just off the harvest. That's pretty good. And we'll make what, another, was it 7,000? Yeah, right at almost 7,000. So we're making 10 grand off of this. It's not bad. So we made 27,000 bucks this month. That's with, paying 4,700 bucks in wages, $5,300 in fertilizer. So $10,000 in wages and fertilizer, and we still made $27,000 profit. And we bought that little vehicle, that little fertilizer thing. That's a pretty good month, honestly. Yeah, it took us a while, and I will try not to do that again and bore you guys to bits. But it still actually, in the end, was ultimately a good month. You can get the, I can get the McDonald's. I mean, I still need mowers and things, right? Although, I say that. If the MacDon thing will still increase the yield by using the mower part of the MacDon thing, well then don't I just get that instead of the mower, right? I need to do some offline testing, I think. This could just be a windrower though, right? This could just, all it is just a mower that has a windrower attached to it. I just don't know. We'll try it out. Probably what I will do is I might run some tests and I'll let you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I should just. I'll probably just need to start a new save where I don't care about the money and just do some tests with the MacDon thing, because it kind of is important to know what it can do and what it can't do, because otherwise you might go spend money on it for no reason, or you might be saving money thinking that you don't need it, and then it turns out that it actually is very valuable. So I kind of need to run some tests with the MacDon thing and see what it does. And there might be some YouTube videos already out there about the grass. I've seen the ones for the crop. I have not seen any for grass yet. All right, well, that is the live stream. It was a green bean stream. Green bean stream. I apologize for my rhyming. We'll have less green beans next time, I promise. Probably what we'll do. What month are we in? We're in September, so we do have time to mow our field. We'll get a round of mowing on our field before winter sets. So we'll definitely get some mowing done next time on our field, get some silage wrap, things like that, and kind of start the process of actually working our own things here in the very near future. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thanksgiving 2 days away for us here in the United States. I know anybody watching from Canada has already had their Thanksgiving. Does England have a Thanksgiving at any point? I actually don't remember. I know you have other holidays, but I don't know if you have explicitly a Thanksgiving type thing. But obviously Christmas coming up as well. But yeah, anybody having Thanksgiving? Hopefully you have a good time with your families. Stay safe. Eat lots of turkey or ham or chicken or vegetables if you're a vegetarian, which is, I'm sorry. How can you have Thanksgiving? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Eat whatever you enjoy. And my next live stream will be Saturday. We'll play some more Civilization 6, continuing our Inca run. And we'll be back to Football Manager on next Monday. And then we'll be back to this game, obviously, next Tuesday. And hopefully by then I'll figure out the MacDon thing and I can talk to you guys about it and give you whatever information will help you with your own saves. Thank you again, everybody. And yeah, at least you had chat to talk to. I did a couple bean fields this afternoon. Fell asleep 2 times. Controller in hand. Smokeless Joe. There have been many times, thankfully not while I'm recording, but there have been a few times where I'm doing the in-between bits on recording, and I have legitimately fallen asleep driving a tractor and woken up, and my tractor's just hitting a tree. Oh, I should have recorded it because it would have been hilarious for you guys to watch. But anyway, thank you, Smokeless Joe. Thank you, Ultimate Bardic. May the beans be with you. Oh, I'm going to go eat some green beans now. If I've done all this work on green beans, I got to go find me a can of green beans and eat some. Thank you guys again. May God bless you. And I do hope you guys join me again next time. Thank you and goodbye.